Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerdbauchery. I am Tony. I am your DM here on Nerdbauchery Adventures here on Gen Con TV, home to the largest RPG convention in the world, running strong for over 50 years now. So thanks for joining us here. I want to give a big shout out to Todd over at D&D Creative Table Designs on Facebook. Please highly suggest you check that page out. They are really, really cool. Have a lot of great TTRPG material if you're a fan of that kind of thing. And if you're watching the show, most likely you probably are. This is episode 5, Dead and Loving It. Going to let the players introduce themselves, then we'll jump right back into where we were last week. First of all, we have a guest tonight. A very special guest named Nathan. I'll let him introduce himself. You can take it away, Nathan.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, hi, my name's Nathan Kennedy. I'm actually friends with Erik. Erik is the guy who got me into D&D years ago. And ever since, I've just been in love with it and I've been having a blast. I am part of a smaller group that also live streams on Mondays. We're called Story Reckless. You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/storyreckless. You can find us on Instagram at story.reckless, and we're also on Twitter. But yeah, just really happy to be here, and I'm really excited to play. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you for coming, Nathan. We're very excited about having you here. All right, next is our business developer here, Erik.
Hey, yeah. So I'm that friend of Nathan, and he's also a really good DM, probably the best DM I know, not named Tony Sloane. And he's also fantastic with his descriptions and his voices, and he's also a super cool guy. And my name is Volric the Gray, and I'm dead.
that sucks. We had a death last week that wasn't too good. Next is Chris.
Hi everyone. I'm Chris, and I play Ayize Marley, a human wizard. Looking forward to seeing what comes of our almost party wipe.
It was looking rough. Everybody was hurting. Next is Jack.
G'day everyone, I'm Jack, coming all the way from Australia. I play Sethrath Bloodtongue, and he's a fair dinkum top bloke.
He's a cool guy.
Let's have a good one. I don't want to be around crocodiles anymore. Crocodiles suck.
What? You don't like nature's friendly reptile friends? All right.
The only crocodile I like is when it's on my boots.
All right. Seth, I can't hear Jack anymore. Did he cut off there?
He's done.
Oh, I thought it cut. All right. Next is Space.
Hey guys, I'm Space. Tonight I'm playing Diora the Impure Monk, and I will try not to die.
Oh, we hope not. Next is Josh.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh, also known as Winged Horizon. I'm playing Dmitry Teslov, a reborn artificer armorer. Pretty much got your Frankenstein and Dr. Gadget all in one. And I'm still alive and still kicking. Well, so.
More or less. Next and last but not least is Erica.
All right. Hello, I'm Erica. Mr. Erik Wahlberg also got me into D&D. It's almost like he was my dad. And I'll be playing Rin, your ranger for today.
All right. So that is everybody. When we left them last week, they had fought that basilisk and were able to use Bert to turn the tables and carry that little reflective stone and have the basilisk see his own reflection. Even with advantage and everything, the basilisk still got turned to stone. But then the giant crocodiles were attracted and a fight ensued. And during the battle, everybody was hurting bad. And Volric sadly had got pulled down. He is being eaten alive. And that is right where we are at where they are, as you can see, everybody is surrounded. You've got Volric right here. He has gone down. You know, there's blood in the water. You got Diora was going for sure. Dimitri's right there. Sethreth is by the healing flower. He barely has any hit points. You've got Rin over here. She came out of hiding, even though she, spell went down anyway. So she was no longer a bush. And then we got a Yize. He came down from the tree and they're all fighting. And it looks as if this is it. The TPK is coming. They've already had a death. Everybody's down. But right as the end is drawing near and Dimitri is screaming for Diora to get to shore, and everybody is hope seems all lost. All of a sudden, you see coming out of the swamp and onto one of the banks right over here is a bugbear, and what it seems to be, as crazy as unbelievably so, a zombie. And I'll let Nathan take it away.
Thank you. Yes, you see a 7-foot-tall, lanky bugbear with wiry gray fur that's coated in a fine layer of green lichen, giving him the appearance of basically a giant walking sloth. And with what little clothing he has on, you see that there's a patchwork of leathers, but all the leathers has mushrooms, fungus, lichen, all sorts of things just growing off of it, creating what looks almost like odd pieces of armored plating. And as I come lumbering out and I look over and see these crocs devouring your party members, I pull out of a dirty pouch on my side this fleshy ball-like fungus, and I just breathe into it and start walking towards the crocs, and the fungus quivers and then bursts with spores. And Tony, what do the crocs do? I have a feeling what's going to happen.
The spores explode over the area of the crocs as they seem to be closing in, and the blood is in the water, and all of a sudden you could see like their eyes, if you're close enough at least. Give me a perception check, actually, Dimitri. Tell me what you got.
My perception is... So is he coming straight out of the water like where Diora was, or where...
No, he came over on the bank. Came from one of the banks. Here, I'll put the live camera back on. But if you look in the picture, he's a little bit down to your left, or to the west, I should say.
I don't think I saw anything. I only rolled a 7.
Yeah, you don't notice anything other than the fact that... What did you say?
I was asking if I could also make a perception check.
Yeah, because you're in the water. Go ahead, because you might be able to see this as the crocs are closing in the stank-fetid swamp. Oh, definitely. As the stank-fetid swamp water seems to be getting all over your face, Diora, you see as the croc's mouth is opening up, all of a sudden its eyes seem to get like a white glaze, and it turns around and it starts going the other way as fast as it can, going straight out of the swamp. Each one of the crocs does the same thing. Just, some of them just submerge, but they're instantly just hightailing it out of there. You can't really tell what happened, but it looks as if something came over the crocs, maybe affected them mentally, but they are out of there, gone and starting to go. Is there anything anybody wants to do? I'll put it back on the live cameras as the crocs are hightailing it out of there. They're on their way out.
Where this comes from? Like we see this.
I was looking at
bear.
Well, so as I'm walking out, this fungus is spraying everywhere. I just start shouting at these crocs. Shoo! Shoo, you bloody beasts! Get out of here! Get out! and I look over towards the rest of you. Ah, hello. Morel, please go deal with the body over there. Bring it to me, quartermaster, please, if you would. And I start gesturing towards the zombie to go and grab Volric out of the water. Don't be alarmed. I know my appearance. People seem to be turned off by me. But please don't run. Don't attack me.
Well, you
Oh,
look
you're not
better
the
than a
problem.
croc.
I think the zombie is the issue.
Yeah.
No, please don't hurt him. He's my friend.
The
I
friend of the
know.
zombie.
And looking at the zombie, seeing a little more closely, you can see that the kind of spongy corpse of this zombie is just covered in vibrant fungus. And the right arm is completely missing. And in its place, there's just this twisting tendril of fungal roots and little, almost like tentacles that form up what would be the arm as this zombie starts going towards Volric. No, please, he is my friend. I brought him back. You see, please don't hurt him. I know he's alarming.
Almost as alarming as... No, actually, no. He's more alarming than you.
I suppose so.
One moment. Tony, besides Volric, is anyone else unconscious or hurt? I mean, unconscious.
Tony?
Oh, Ulrich's fish bait.
Just Vorik.
I'm muted. I'm
running to
muted.
get him, and everybody's running towards the tree.
Everyone, and right as you're saying that, we're going to get right back to that, obviously, because people got injured. You realize that Volric is gone. He's been fished out. You see him in front of you. He's dead because the zombie was able to pull him out. But one of your party obviously has not made it. And at that moment, we actually begin to see through the eyes of Volric. And what you see now is the cold darkness of death has overtaken Volric. And there's an eerie mist, the mist of the afterlife. And in the right hand side of the screen, there's the light, a warm, beckoning light. And then you hear, Volric, wake up, wake up. Wake up!
Oh, what a row. I guess we won, eh? Where is everyone?
Hello, you're awake.
Sergey?
Volric.
Sergey! It's you. Oh boy. What a sight for sore eyes. You beautiful young boy. It's been some time. I guess I died, eh?
It looks like you're gone.
I can't believe none of us realized those crocs were 20 feet long. Quite the fatal mistake. But we're here. You and I, Sergey.
Volric.
I missed you, my son.
I made something for you. Over there, on the rock, I made you a blue cloud rune and a red fire rune.
So I'll look over at these runes. Can you describe them for me?
Now on the rock, you see these runes. They're glowing. They actually almost seem to be burning themselves into the rock with the power. But when you go to approach them, obviously you're dead. You don't feel any type of heat or anything emanating off. Even spiritual, in your spiritual sense, you'd still feel it. And that's with the red fire rune. And then when you look at the cold rune right next to it, it seems to be having a chilling effect on the rock. like it's almost making it a little bit more brittle as a blue light seems to be emanating from this room and causing small sparks of power that seem to be pulsating out and glowing, almost beckoning you to come forward and grab them.
These are magic?
I
You
made
made
them
these, Sergey?
for you. I made them for you.
You were always the best rune carver in our village, but I knew you had it in you.
Thank you. I've missed you.
I missed you too so much, boy. I kneel down in front of him. I reach out. Can I touch him? Can I grab his, hold his shoulders?
He gets closer.
tangible?
When he sees you kneel down, he gets closer and he walks up to you, and you can still feel that warm light behind you, kind of like almost trying to, almost pull you. But he gets close to you, and you're able to, that he is tangible. You're able to put your hand on his shoulder.
I grip him tightly with both arms. Sergey. Can you forgive me?
You've got to go back.
Well, there's no going back, boy.
You've got to go back. You've got to go back.
Sergey.
You've got to go back. You've got to go
Sergey,
back.
listen to me. Son.
You've got to go back.
Son, I love you.
You've got to go back.
Son.
Wayne's
Forgive
World.
me.
And at that moment, now we're back to Fergus standing above the body of Volric. You've been able to. Now you're standing above him. And what are you doing, Fergus?
If I was able to, I quickly approached him and I just quickly placed a hand on him, and I'm going to cast Gentle Repose on his body, if the party lets me. So as I'm approaching, go ahead, Diora.
I was gonna say, as soon as he touches Volric, I get really defensive.
Okay.
And
No.
What are you doing?
Please. I can save him. No, not like Morel. Don't worry. I can help him though. I just need to touch his body, and I need to be quick. Please.
Are you one of those that can bring people back like me?
Oh, not quite. Well, actually, I don't know what you mean.
Do you experiment on people as well?
No. I have a connection with the island, with the forest, with everything around us.
I loom over Diora and show my fangs. You heard him.
It's okay. We can put him back together again. Look at me. I'm as good as new.
Well,
I heard him.
I won't. Will you please grant me this? I can save him.
If you don't, your life's forfeit.
I understand. Look at me. I'm just an old bear. I won't. I'm clearly outmatched. And I will gently place a hand on Volric. And there's just a little bit of this kind of yellow, almost like slime mold that shoots out from under my hand and just kind of gently cocoons Volric. And I say, this will help. I promise. Now, I saw what you did with that basilisk. That was quite a nasty beast that was giving me so much trouble. And there's a seed, a great seed within that flower. If I could go and retrieve it, I can take you all back to my home and bring your friend back. The only thing I ask for in return is for you to allow me to go into the flower as I asked, and also if you could help me get some of this crocodile meat. I saw one of your friends killed one of those, and that is some prime meat. I would not want to let that go to waste. If you're willing to share, of course.
I don't think we killed any of them.
Oh, I swear, did not one. Oh, did they all? Oh, I thought one
Yes,
of them
there's
died.
one. I'm pretty sure.
You did kill one.
I
You
am
guys
quite
did kill
certain that
one.
the one I engaged.
You guys
is
did
dead.
kill one.
Yes, that one there. Yes, the one that was in the tree.
That's right. That one's partially frozen.
Yes.
Wow, Azihe. I'm impressed.
It took a while. As in, I have no magic left. Well, I have a cantrip, but that's it.
So,
What part of the croc do you want?
I like the haunches, if you don't mind.
I'll do that.
Oh, really? I could have Morel help you.
Nah.
Okay. Yes, I know, Morel. Just relax. Anyways,
Every time Morale moves, Aize flinches.
I'll go across and start cutting off the back end of the crop. And I'll tie some rope around the tail to drag it back to him.
What's your name?
Oh, yes. You may call me Fergus. What is yours?
You can call me Diora.
Oh, wonderful to meet you. It's been a while since I've talked with people. What is you there?
I point to Sephrith. Is that right? I point to you.
What is your name? Thank you for doing that.
Sethra.
Sethris?
Yeah.
Lovely. And did somebody say Aize?
That would be me. I am Aize.
And
Pleasure to meet you, Fergus. And thank you so much for your help. We thought I was pretty sure that I was going to have to do a runner.
Oh, yes, there's quite remarkable creatures on this island, and they're all quite dangerous. I couldn't believe when I saw you all there dealing with that basilisk.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What did you do to scare those crocodiles away?
Oh, yes.
And I hold up the now deflated ball, like puffball mushroom.
I unfortunately don't have any more of these left, but this is a very rare fungus you can find on the island. And when it's exposed to great amounts of oxygen from a creature, it ruptures. And I found that the beasts on the island find it dreadful. I don't mind it much, but yes, if I ever find some more, I'd be willing to trade, of course, for something in return.
Would that have worked on the basilisk?
No, that is not a beast. That is something else, abhorrent, not true to nature. So unfortunately, no.
Aize takes out his book, conjures up his quill, and takes notes.
That's a fun trick.
It's for the library.
You see, actually, oh my gosh, you see Dimitri to also take out another book. It seems to have a book on his side as well, one on each side, actually. He takes out one and also looks and he says, "Tell me, can this be added to anything? Where can we find one of these? I'm very curious about these alchemical properties."
Oh yes, there's quite a number of fascinating plants and even animals that are on the island. This one in particular, though, is unfortunately they sprout up once per year in very specific locations, and I'm not willing to divulge that because it is a secret of mine, and they are quite precious to me. But if you look in the where the mountains begin, where the rainforest meets the mountains, you may be fortunate enough to find some growing under rotten logs. And specifically look for little bits of orange, like little dust particles coming off the log, and that, and you know you've got something.
You remind me very much of the the morel hunters of the plainlands that never divulge where they find their tasty morsels, but are always happy to sell them to you.
Well, gotta make a living somehow, even when I've been here for so long. Anyways, would you allow me to jump into that flower, if you don't mind?
Right before you go, Diora walks like right up to you, close enough to whisper.
Oh,
If this is a trap, Warwick won't be the only one dead.
okay, yes. I'll keep that in mind.
Go, run along, do your thing.
And I'll lope over to the flower and kind of climb up the petals and just literally slurp down the center of it. And you just see my legs sticking out the middle as I'm rooting around in there. And then eventually I will,
Come on.
and I'll flop out and I'll have this little pod that I'm holding.
All right. Well, if you would like to come with me and bring your friend to my home, I could bring him back.
At this point, I'm assuming I've done the hacking and I've dragged the croc tail and the last two eggs over with me. Aren't we supposed to also get something from that plant for our deal? Would it be smart to take care of that while we're here?
Yeah.
That is actually why we came,
Not a bad idea.
Fergus, of the swamplands.
Yes.
What was it we were supposed to fetch again? Oh, hold
I don't
on.
know.
Check my notes.
That's up to you geniuses, not me.
Tony, I checked my notes.
Okay.
Anything specific that the chief asked for? That Shaka Zulu asked for?
For the flower itself?
Yeah.
You know that in the notes, he was just asking for part of the petals. Like all you need is a very small piece of one of the petals.
Small piece of one of the petals. I take out my dagger. I'll walk over to the plant and I'll remove one of the petals. And then I'll fold it up in a kerchief and stick it in my bag.
Right? And the flower you can see is right. Oh.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would recommend that, just for safety's sake, each of us take a small piece of a petal as well. Or just leave it to me if you want.
All right. So you got a piece of the petal of the flower now for what you need to make the salve that will be needed to, of course, heal the zombie master or mistress. And if you're people watching the stream right now, you have to watch the previous episodes to learn what the zombie mistress was. You can catch those on YouTube. So now you've got that. What's going on now, guys? You've got the flower. Fergus, you've got what you need at this point. So what do y'all want to do? And of course, Volric he's just floating there in between life.
Missing any body parts?
No body parts. But obviously he's not in the best situation right now. He's not fully back.
I would carry it.
Taking him.
Well,
I was just gonna recommend maybe Sethereth pick him up because, he's carrying the crocodile bits. Maybe.
Nah, I prefer for the zombie guy to carry the croc. I'll take care of Lord.
All right.
I prefer to have him in my hands.
Let me ask Quartermaster Morel if you would be. Quartermaster. Do you mind carrying the crocodile pieces for our new friends here? Yeah, good. Okay. He'll get right on that.
And I'll take Volric's weapons, his sword and his hand axe, and I'll carry those.
I also look over, noticing Rin.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Hello. I'm Fergus. What is your name?
All right, hello, I'm here also. Okay. Hello, I'm Rin Swiftbow. And she's like unsure whether or not she should attempt to shake a hand.
I'll
Or
reach out a big meaty paw that's pretty covered in licus and fungus, and I'll daintily grab and shake your hand.
Lovely to meet you.
I'll look towards I'm sorry, Jack. Is it Seth Reth? Seth Reth? Okay. Look toward Seth Reth. And I'll actually say in Orcish.
It's been very long. Hello, I am Fergus. I like many the thing Big Pickle on back.
Big pickle.
Big Pickle.
I point to the big axe that you have.
Big Pickle. I like many Big Pickle on back.
Pickle.
Am I saying it right?
I'll switch back to common.
Am I saying that right?
You keep talking to me in Orcish, you're going to be in a pickle in a minute.
Oh no! What did I say? Oh, blast! I forgot. That's right.
And then in Orcish, I reply, axe.
Axe. That's what I meant to say. Oh, terribly sorry. All right. Well,
Switching back to common.
would you all like to go with me then?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's
Get
go.
going, old timer. Come on, focus.
All right.
Focus.
I will lead the group and start loping off through the swamp towards my home.
All right.
I'll cradle Ulrich very carefully.
All right. So
Maybe bloody letting a croc kill him. I don't know.
you guys.
Fiora, stay close.
Oh, sorry. All right. So you guys are, you travel. It's not too far away. It's about half a day away. There's no type of random encounters. Luckily, you didn't roll bad on that this session, so you don't get attacked. The weather, of course, as you know, is tropical and hot. You guys, you only got about a half a day's worth of food left at this point because it took you a day and a half to get here. So yeah, it's super hot. It's super humid. And you eventually get Fergus through all this and through the jungle. You eventually come upon a small clearing in the jungle, and you see what looks like a modified bottom keel of a boat that's been shaped into almost like a tent structure with a door on the front. But there's all these mushrooms and fungus all growing around everywhere. It's growing out of the door, out of the ground, out of the side of the house. It's gotten to the point where you even see bags of food and old crates and things are now put on top of these large mushrooms, using them almost like shelving. And I'll let Fergus now take it away. You've arrived at his abode.
Right. As I'm leading you through the forest the whole time, I'm just prattling away, pointing at things and being like,
oh, this here is a very rare specimen.
and just talking about the different plants and animals that we see, eventually arriving at the scene that Tony's described.
Oh, here's home. I'll put some tea on while we get. Oh, Sethreth, if you wouldn't mind going and placing Ulrich over on the large stump over there, and we'll get ready with the ritual soon. I'm just gonna put some tea on. Would anybody like some tea?
slowly a little hand rises.
Okay.
And I'll go scurrying over and set up this rusty kettle, just set it up and snap my fingers and a little fire lights up. It starts, bubbling. And then I wave my hand towards a cluster of fungus and they all just gently peel open into what look like little teacups. And I just start peeling them off and setting them down, get the tea ready and pour them all in. And I start passing the tea out to everyone.
All right, you just want to get comfortable before we get with this. Thank you, Sethrith. All right. Now.
I gently put Ulrich down on the stump and put him in a traditional burial position that we would have in our clan. It's kind of like Vikingish, actually. Similar traits there. The arms are crossed over. and I pull out 2 coins from my pouch and put them on his eyes for the ferryman.
Oh, yes.
And I will go up and just quietly bow for a moment, close my eyes.
All right. So,
And I'll pull out the seed and place it on his chest.
okay, now that all the sad stuff has happened, hopefully, I mean, this will definitely work, and we'll have your friend back
It's
soon.
better. Like I said, buddy, you stuff it up.
All right.
That's it.
Okay.
Sethriff is uncanny, like being really clingy around Volric, and whenever Fern, what's the sorry? What was his name?
Fergus.
Fergus. Whatever Fergus is doing, he's really watching. Like
Okay.
hovering behind Fergus the whole time.
The tea.
What? Oh, the tea.
Bugger the tea, mate. Let's get him alive.
Well, no, I'm drinking the tea. I'm asking Tony, how's the tea?
Oh, the tea. How's the tea? I thought, oh, you're asking me?
Hi.
I guess the tea is quite tasty. It's nice tea. It does not have any milk in it, obviously, or any sugar, but it has caffeine, so it seems to wake you up. One thing you do notice as y'all are drinking the tea is you begin to hear like a little bit of a squawking sound that sounds like Bert, and you notice Morel is kind of like trying to get close to Bert.
No, shoot! No, stop it!
And Morel looks back at you, and he looks at Bert with like eyes kind of sad, like he opens his mouth.
Just forgive me, quartermaster, please. No, I will get you food later. No, I'm so sorry. I don't know whose bird that is. I'm so sorry. Morel, please go sit down. Yes, I know. We've been walking all day. I know. Please go sit down. Yes, thank you. Oh, goodness, sometimes. He is my superior officer, but still. All right. Here we go.
Superior. Very superior.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and you do see that Morel has this giant, like pirate captain hat, and where the feathers would be, it's just tendrils of brightly colored mushrooms poking out.
All right, here we go.
And I'll set the seed on Volric's chest, and I'll close my eyes.
All right, here we go.
And I just gently close my eyes, and you just see the seed starts to sprout little, tiny, bright yellow mushrooms, which begin to spread ever so gently down and around Volric's body. All of the mushrooms just continue to spread and spread and spread until his entire body is covered in this fungus. And there's a little bit of this green light that starts pulsing off of it.
Okay, yes, just like that. And then yep, okay. Yep, okay.
And as the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter, it eventually pulses with one bright green flash. And as it subsides, you watch the little bits of fungus start to fall away and just turn into dirt that just falls around, revealing Volric's body lying there. And it seems that all of the awful wounds and giant gashes in his form that the crocodiles left have sealed shut.
Okay.
I'll lean over gently towards Volric and just gently tap his face.
Just hold on. See, it worked.
You did it, you hairy yeti.
Yes, it worked.
Slap him on the back. You did it, you hairy yeti.
Are you okay?
I'll say to Volric.
Hey, speak up. How are you? Are you a
turned
mushroom?
into a bloody zombie?
No. Oh, Volric, please, just
Give him a
say.
drink. I hand him a water bottle. Water skin. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh.
It may take a little bit, but he's not.
You made a zombie.
No, I didn't. Look. And
I have to bloody kill the zombie now.
No. Please. He's not a zombie. I promise. Just Volric, please. Please, just say something for me.
Snap out of it. Come on.
Diora,
Warrior.
Diora, do you think this is how I came back?
Look, you messed with his bloody head.
I
You turned him into a zombie.
No, I didn't. Just one word. Volric, please, one word.
Yep. He's a zombie.
Back.
Oh dear. I promise he's not a zombie. Look, none of the
And I'll brush away all the dirt. Make it very clear.
no fungus on him. No fungus. I think it just takes a bit of recovery time.
I hand him the water skin and just kind of pour it down his mouth a bit. There you go, mate.
If it's his first time, I can tell from experience, it does take a while getting back up on your feet.
He's a bloody senile twit now. Look what you've done to him. Where's the warrior gone?
Tony, is there anything from arcane study that I can use to or any knowledge that I have comparable to this?
This would be more. You can give me an arcane roll, but it's going to need to be high for the arcane, lower for nature, because this is more closer to nature. But if you do a high arcane, you'll still. Oh no. Okay, so you are not able to determine in your experience and study nothing like this. And again, the island's mysterious anyway, so you know.
I have a high nature as well, actually.
Oh, you can roll that if you want. Go ahead. You can do both. Oh my God. You aren't meant to know shit. Stuff. So you don't know that.
Rin's gonna try to approach.
Does my nature check count? Because I just rolled a bloody good one.
All right, so Jack, you're kind of trying, because y'all are standing there at the ceremony anyway, as you saw in the picture before. You were standing around the resurrection. You know it's very strange, but pretty much you get the same determination that you were told, very similar, that it must be having something to do with the fungal properties of the island and whatever has happened to this guy. You know, you've heard vague stories, like back in your tribe, how some shaman would become connected to a certain area, and that would give them greater powers. But that's just vague rumors. But you do remember something like that, so this might be similar.
Reminds me of stories that the witch doctors used to tell us. They could tap into the land and bring back the dead, but I don't think he's whole. He looks like some dottery old fool now.
Rin's going.
Come on, boy.
He is going to approach.
Where's the
Ulrich?
warrior? Find him. See? He's bloody lost the plot. You're stuffed up.
He's not dead, at least.
He's gone.
I ate his own boogers.
Sethrath, nobody comes back from that normal, really.
Well, you can talk. You can act. Did
I
you say
don't know if I was
there?
I'm sure I wasn't brought the same. There was electricity involved, at least, and magic. This is something fascinating.
Chris, have you done this successfully before?
Good question.
No.
Oh, fuck.
At that point,
I storm off.
I'm just watching everything that's going on, listening to the question Dimitri asks me. I see Sephiroth storm off, and I just lose it at that point. I take my comma off my back, and I slowly walk up to Fergus.
Uh-oh.
I didn't want this anyway. You've screwed our leader.
So you did this, and you knew it wasn't successful.
Listen, I've been studying that flower from afar for a very long time, and I could hear it and feel it speaking to me. I was so certain that it would work. I was so certain. I could understand it. I could. I thought this would work.
Are you sure you're not missing?
Maybe he didn't want to come back. Some people don't have a choice.
Maybe, or maybe you're missing something. Could you say you spoke to the flower. How about you describe, beyond the seed in the middle, what else?
I can give him a spark. Should I give him a spark? That's what helped me.
Up the ass.
Put a pin in that.
Anything else?
Let's put a pin in the spark for a moment and
Well,
what Fergus says.
He's gone. Look at him. Bloody vegetable.
Was there anything else, Fergus?
So it wasn't quite a conversation. It's hard to explain. It was more like feelings and senses and intuition.
What's the feeling now, Fergus?
Afraid?
Should be.
Not supposed to laugh. Supposed to be angry. Oh, get the axe out of his body.
Hey guys, while you're doing this, Vorik is walking around kind of like tripping over stuff, you know, picking up a tree branch, trying to make it look like he's fighting, but he's like, you know, like his dexterity is basically 1, so he hits himself kind of in the face with the tree branch. You know, he is just wandering around in a total stupor right now.
I think
I have his weapon, so
I think what your friend here, Dimitri, was saying there might be something to that it might take some time.
I walk up and I jolt him with the thing of electricity when you said it might be what I was talking about.
Okay.
And I shoot a little bit of lightning at him.
Damn, harsh. All right, well,
and I jolt him for like 10 volts of a 10 or whatever 100 whatever 10 thing would be of electricity, but like 10 volt or 100 volt of electricity just zap him right in his chest.
You gotta kill him.
Don't hurt the poor Fergus.
He's already dead, is he not?
Well,
he's no longer living. He can't kill him again.
Well, you just bloody hell, mate.
Has anyone even stopped him to determine if he's dead or not? Hold off on the electricity. Let's
see if he's even got a heartbeat for a
Is he breathing? Is
I-
his heartbeat?
I walk up to Vorik and I take his hand and I check to see if he has a pulse.
All right, so you go up to Vorik. He's kind of like drooling and everything, but his eyes don't have the deathly like whiteness that a zombie would have. In fact, his skin, when you touch it, is quite warm. And when you feel it, yes, there is indeed a pulse there. And give me a perception roll. 12 or higher. You also notice your perception 21, so you definitely notice that his chest is going up and down. So there's breathing going on. This is definitely not a zombie. He is definitely alive, just in some kind of like, stupor or brain fog, whatever you want to call it at this moment.
It better be after that Joe lighting I gave him.
I turn back to the rest of the group. Should I smack him?
Well, before we just keep hitting him over and over, let me see.
Keep punching Vorik.
I am very curious, actually. I've always wanted to look and see a brain. Perhaps we could observe his brain to see.
We're not cutting anything. We're not cutting. We're not hitting and whacking. I'm gonna grab out of 5 good berries.
It worked for me.
Bloody hell, Dimitri! I hate to see what you do about a cold, mate. You're gonna cut my nose off and check it out.
Plan A. I'm gonna feed him some good berries. And Rin takes out 5 good berries from her pouch and attempts to stuff and make him chew them down.
I wish you had real berries to shove in his mouth right now.
We'd be really
Joke.
All right, and Tony, does that do anything?
What, stuffing the what in his mouth?
5.
The
each
what?
is
Tea
hit
bags.
point.
Tea bags in his mouth.
The tea bags? You shove.
The good
um,
good berries. Good berries. Each is worth a hit point.
You shove the good berries. Any residual like wounds or bruises that were left over, they do seems to heal up. After, of course, there was the ceremony done by Fergus, so a lot of that was already done. His wounds mended, but you don't notice that it does anything. In fact, when he's eating the good berries, as you shove them in his mouth, he's just kind of like, you have to take his mouth and go and push it shut for him, because little bits are falling as it's drooling out of his mouth. So you literally have to kind of like make him chew his food for him.
Bryn, there really is something wrong with his brain, I think. Perhaps if we just make a few tweaks.
Maybe I'm on voting for waiting.
I think waiting.
Let's
Ferguson.
lie him down and
Mr.
see if
Fergus.
he comes back to consciousness tomorrow.
He can lay in my bed if you'd like.
Is
No,
it funky
Fergus.
like the rest of your camp? No pun intended.
And I'll open up the little ship and you will see inside, and I'll kind of wave my hand, and a kind of big flat mushroom will just slowly open up, forming kind of a big spongy bed.
If you want, it's quite comfortable.
Oh God. What can it hurt? His brain's already turned into a mushroom.
Yes, okay, that's fine.
You might need to give him something to sleep, because I don't think he's going to stay still in this state. Anyone got anything to put him out? One of those stupid teas or something?
But, Fergus, I thank you for attempting to bring back our colleague and comrade, but it's a good effort.
Good.
Better than no effort at all. We couldn't do anything. What
Well,
were
he's
you
bloody
going to do?
useless.
Well, he was just as useless in the croc's mouth.
We would have been all
Good
dead.
as.
At least we can give him a proper burial once he
We're going to kill
loses his
him now.
brain.
Brain.
Electricity.
You just want to cut everything up, don't you?
No, not maybe.
Tony, has there been any change since he immediately woke up to the few minutes that have been passing in terms of his behavior?
I was muted. Give me perception. Tell me what you got.
A unique opportunity for science. I really do.
Dimitri,
Now is not the time.
you seem very fascinated in seeing the internals of a being, of a humanoid.
Perception roll.
Just in how they come back to life.
Oh, I can help with one of those.
And sorry, I'll wait for Erica to resolve.
Scrolling. I'm scrolling through my brain. Okay.
Must be Eric's brain you're scrolling through.
Perception. I'm like, okay, I need dead Volric to help me.
Eric is basically the equivalent of someone who has had a way too wild of a night at a Grateful Dead concert.
Perhaps we need to do a session of Inception to go into his brain and find.
Oh wait. Oh well, it's the same thing as from Rin's sheet. That was 10.
Yeah, that's your sheet though, isn't it? Oh no, that is Rin.
Well,
okay,
it's mine.
You notice that that's good enough though. You notice that his pinky finger is now moving in a more kind of like deliberate fashion rather than the kind of janky. So there's a slight. His pinky's now seems to be moving like in a normal fashion.
I think he wants some tea.
Oh, I could do that.
I'll start making some tea.
But tea makes everything better, doesn't it?
I've seen many people point their finger like that when they want tea.
I remember that as a.
Well, at least he's not getting worse.
Looks to me he just wants to eat his boogers again.
But Dimitri.
He's not trying to eat us.
Is there anything different physically about him or any objects on him that are different? Can I do a perception check, please?
Give me an investigation.
Investigation. Okay.
Never seen him better.
What did you get, buddy?
It's an improvement. Sorry. Investigation.
Looks like that croc gave him a little bit of a shave.
13.
13. He looks the same as there's no real difference other than the fact that his clothes are drying off. He still has the old swamp water, so it doesn't smell good. Neither does anybody who's in the swamp water. You're definitely not smelling good as it dries off. It was very brackish. So he's got a bunch of green and algae over him, but nothing really different. You don't notice anything different, no other extra items or anything like that.
Okay.
Dimitri, I can, Quartermaster Morel, do you mind if Dimitri takes a look, inside your head? Just give me a moment.
You bastards.
All right.
What?
Come over here, Dimitri, and
I'll have Quartermaster Morel come stand next to me.
Oh, it's just part of the natural process of life and death. It's really not I know it can be unpleasant and nasty and smelly, but it's just part of the cycle. So Dimitri, if you come here,
and I will gently take the hat off Quartermaster Morel and set it down on the ground. And you'll see that there's like a big section of the skull that's just missing with bits of.
I take my alchemical blade and I put it back, disappointed.
Oh, yes. Well, if you wanted to take a look,
and I'll just point at the area of the brain, and I mean, you just see there's like bits of fungus coming out of the skull cavity, and what remains of the brain is kind of a mismatch of brain and fungus.
I get over next to Diora.
Fergus, do you think perhaps
what's going on here?
There is some of this in my head.
Oh, well,
I
potentially.
don't let him be.
This is he's normal. Like
This is
messed up.
ever since he came back to life, he's been like this, obsessed with finding out what happened to him.
We gotta get out of this place. This shit's messed up.
Well, as soon as Wahlberg is back.
Is he going to be back? Like, look at him. He's a mess.
I think. I mean, it happened to Dimitri when he came back. It took a while from him.
And look at him now. He's sticking his face in some guy's brain. He ain't normal either. Can we just clear that up? That ain't
really
normal.
I mean, are we? I don't think any of us are really normal. So.
I don't call that remotely normal. Do you want to have a look at a brain?
No, not really.
I mean, he's not trying to eat mine, so
I'm
honestly,
I'm more into smacking people. And,
Snacking.
Hey, I look up from the brain, and I go look over at Sethros, and I was like, "It's not like I could eat it, anyways."
Oh, you'd give it a crack if I gave you a straw, I bet.
I don't think it would be possible with what happened to me. I am just wanting to know how I can fix things or people. I like to fix things. For example, that axe there, it could use some improvements.
No, hey, mate, you ain't touching this. Hell no.
I assure you I could give it many improvements.
maybe what we all need is a rest and someone to watch him.
Just put a pillow on his head. Get it over and done with.
Should we tie him down in case he tries to walk away?
Yeah, I don't trust him because he's probably going to try and eat my brains in the middle of the night.
Someone could stand watch, take turns, see if we see any more changes in the morning.
Yeah, that's really what happened. Oh, he's fucked.
Is this place safe, Fergus?
Yes, it's quite safe.
I need to doff my armor before the rest. It has many intricate workings, and I need to make sure. Is there a place of privacy?
Oh, well, you can go inside my hut over there. Would that be all right?
Yes.
All right.
My appreciation.
And I was going to say to you, Dimitri, I don't think well, I don't really know you. I don't know what you mean by asking if you're like Morel here. I would think not, since you are talking in a different way than Morel does. Morel is, well, he Morel is special, and there's a lot of the fungus is doing the talking for him.
Is that what you did to Ulrich?
No, it was a very different process that I did for Ulrich.
Why did you do that for Ulrich and not for your lieutenant?
Well, I didn't know if it was going to work, and Morel is my best friend.
So
I'm sorry.
Use our friend.
I'm sorry.
As a test subject.
Yes. I'm sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for. I mean, we were aware that there was just a chance. I mean, let's be clear here. He was dead.
He was
injured. He was dead. Okay? And if Fergus hadn't shown up, he wouldn't be the only dead person. Fergus, I very much appreciate you, and I appreciate your assistance.
Oh.
I could arrest.
Hopefully, if you
Yes,
die
that
next,
makes
we
one
can
of
use
us.
you as a test subject.
Oh, yes, certainly. You can use me all you like. Once I'm dead, I'm gone.
I just shake my head and walk away.
Oh, did I say something?
I lean towards Aize.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say something wrong?
I think you should ease up with the whole experiment on bodies thing. As generous as you are to offer yours up.
Oh, well, I just, once you're dead, then you return to the cycle and you become the earth. And,
just be careful around certain people, and I noticed that your particular is touchy about that. But don't worry. This tea is really good, by the way. I just want to
do you like it?
Yes, I do.
A bit nutty.
Was that a joke? Is it because you think I'm crazy?
All right, I'm going to go into the hut and make sure that Ulrich is comfortable and tied down, both legs and arms. And is it getting to evening at all at the moment? What time is it kind of at?
It is actually. It's pretty. Sun has gone down at this point. It is now nighttime. I would say you're getting ready to bed down. Obviously, I don't know.
I'd say I'm really badly beaten up. I've got probably my teared up from the crocodile attack across my torso. It's probably festering and all the swamp water. I'm probably looking pretty ill at the moment.
Can I notice? Oh, go ahead.
Is this safe?
Yes, it's quite safe. And, Sethreth, I know you don't trust me.
That's right. I don't.
But I saw those wounds on your side there.
Nah, just scratches, mate.
Well, all right. I could help. I don't know if you want it, but I could. I do have
Then we're going to have mushrooms growing out of me afterwards.
Maybe just for a little bit, but then they'll go away. I promise.
Oh, you're kidding me, right?
Well, no, that's how it works. That's how I do what I do. That's how I help people.
Oh! Like you helped him.
Yes.
Am I going to lose my brain?
Well, you're alive, starting.
Well, yeah, it's a good start. Yeah.
I will take a risk here, and I will just gently place my hand on Sephiroth, like as quick as I can. And when you
I
grab
hold it in place.
Yeah, you grab my hand and I just let a cure wounds release at second level.
Oh,
Tinkles. What are you doing?
So you see where your wounds are, there are little fungus kind of sprout out for a moment, and then the wounds seal shut, and then the fungus just falls off onto the ground.
I swear, if I start getting mushrooms in places I shouldn't, mate.
Then you can kill me. And then,
yeah, I will. I'll eat you too. Yeah.
I believe it.
I'll let go of the hand.
All right.
Dust off a couple of the extra mushrooms.
See, they're gone. They're only there for a little bit. They help.
I actually feel a bit better.
I would imagine so.
But like I said, you need mushrooms. You're warned.
Got it.
How much did I heal, by the way? Thank you.
So cure wounds at second level, I believe it's 2d8 plus my wisdom modifier. So
you can roll it for me, sport.
Yeah. No, I was gonna roll it. I was just trying to remember. So 2d8 plus my wisdom modifier. My wisdom modifier is +5, so you get 17 hit points back.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm looking better.
You do feel better, don't you? I can see it.
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll go lean over to Ize.
See, I'm helping him. And might help a little bit with the group if I do things like that, yes?
I stroll off and try and find a place that's going to be comfortable to have a sleep, I think.
I will. If
cross-legged.
Go ahead.
I'll sit cross-legged on a tree stump and pull out my book and quill and begin the process of meditation and rest.
anybody else? Or are we just all bedding down?
No, I will pull Dimitri into like a private room or wherever he's taking his armor off. And I just with whatever room that is, we don't know how big his house is.
Well, you're kind of outside too, because his house, I would say, could only fit like 1 or 2 people. So as you can see by the scene right here, you've got a little few people could be in the house, but you've also got your campsite safely outside his house as well.
Okay, so I
went to a small space to doff my armor, and I'm not sure where exactly Fergus told me to go. I think it was somewhere in the house, maybe, or maybe it was with where.
Yeah, it's more like a small kind of tented hut, if anything.
Yeah, I offered my hut for you to go and change in.
So I guess everybody was in that room, or?
No, I think it would have been, you would have gone in there as a small hut. You probably would have taken your armor off and then, I don't know, rejoined the group. Like Tony said, it could only fit maybe 2 people at most.
Yeah, it's not very big, you know.
I assumed it was small, so sorry, go ahead, Dior.
I was gonna say I would have joined him in the hut as he was taking his armor off.
You see scars all across my body with pure white skin, some patches of flesh tanner than the other patches, mismatched. And I look over and kind of shy away. I'm not ready. Dior. I am not decent. And I look really scrawny, actually, despite looking quite large in this plate armor. I do not have a lot of muscle.
It's not like I've never seen you like that before, Dimitri. I just won't look, but I need to talk. I feel lost, to say the least.
Come to me, Diora. It was a traumatic experience. I know you felt something for that man, but I hope you appreciate that perhaps that feelings are not the same anymore in return.
Well, no, it wasn't because I felt something from him. It was because I just feel so weak. Like I couldn't save you. I couldn't save my sensei. And now Vorik is or was dead. Look at him now. How can I call myself a warrior when I can't save the people that I love, that I care about?
You always felt you did not do enough, or was not enough in this way, or that way for somebody or yourself. But listen to me. Little D, you do not. These were monsters, unlike we have ever seen. We have seen and lived with monsters. This is an unfortunate continuation of a series of unfortunate events, but I am sure once we get this treasure, we'll have enough to retire in some small place away from prying eyes and none of this craziness. It's just one more thing we have to do. We just have to get through this and stay alive. Watch each other's back. I told you I would be there for you, and you will not die. Not when I'm still breathing. No, no. It is not your fault that you couldn't overcome these massive monsters. This is not where we belong. We are in their home. So let's stick to the path. Find ones that are from here, like this Fergus, and see if they can give us the guidance to stay alive.
Okay. I mean, I know that where we come from, there were nothing but monsters. I mean, we're practically monsters ourselves. But Vorik?
You are not a monster.
I am a
Never say
monster.
that. You are not a monster.
I
You are a
drink.
miracle of life.
It's nice of you to say that, Dimitri, but you're not the one that's cursed with drinking blood.
At least you can get pleasure drinking something. You always look for the dark in things.
Because that's all I've been surrounded by, Dimitri. Vorik, he seemed like a very good guy. And this happened to him. This could happen to any one of them. This could happen to you again. And I don't know what I would do with myself if this happened to you again.
This will not happen to you. This is the beginning of our adventure, of our journey. You know as well as I do, bad things happen to everyone, and good things as well. You can choose, as I've told you many times, which one you want to focus on, the good or the bad, and then let it guide you and learn from the other.
It's hard to focus on the good when all I have is the darkness on my shoulders, the darkness chasing me. How can I focus on the good?
When I see you, Deora, I only see light. You are the light. That was the darkness where we came. You are the light that got us through the mist. It is your light that will change this world. Mark my words. Have faith, Diora. Not in the gods, not in this man, in yourself. That is where your power relies. That is what you've been training for. Control of yourself and your mind. That is the most powerful weapon. No one can take that from you until you no longer think.
I just wish I could have did more. I just wish this didn't happen to him.
I reach in and I give Diora a hug and I embrace her.
Then I hug him back and I just start silently crying.
Me too, Diora. Me too.
If something happens to him, what are they gonna do? You and I will always be to me. You're my best friend, and I love you. And I would never let anything like this happen to you. But Volric is a leader. And without him, how are they gonna go on?
When one leader falls, there is always one to take the place. Just give it time and the opportunity will arise if it must. But give this one some time. Perhaps this unique myconid method of recovery and rejuvenation will work a miracle
All I know
on
is
this
that
one.
for Fergie's sake, this better work. I don't know what he is. I don't know what type of magic he does.
It is no magic like I've ever seen, Diora. It's unlike anything. This is something separate from what I know of the weave. And I know it's all around. But to see it in the way that he uses it, it's like he is tapped in, not to the weave of the air, of the energy, but the weave of the tierra itself. That is fascinating. And I do think it might do some wonders. Let us sit and wait. Patience can only help. I feel we will be safe in this one's presence. Let's give ourselves time to recuperate, to recover our thoughts, and then we will move forward. We will always move forward. We were never meant to stay here with one or the rest. We are meant to go and find somewhere safe, away from those prying eyes and those grasps. We need to just wait and hold on to each other. We can do this. You can do this.
I just don't want to see anyone die. I can't handle that. I don't know how to. I can't. I don't. and then I just start hyperventilating. I don't. That idiot better wake up.
Oh!
Is he sorry, but is Volric outside with us?
Volric right now is he was Sethreth put him over there, kind of like slouched him against like a tree, and he's sitting there around the camp with you, but he's kind of what?
Bed. We're still inside a bed, like another room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought he put you on it. I thought he said put your trees in a bed. Okay, my bad. So yeah, then he's in a bed in the hut. Kind of just in his getting better. His pinky, it was moving before, so that was at least progress. But he's in there inside the bed, slouched out.
So is Rin watching over him?
I don't know. Is she?
Yeah, I was gonna offer for to help Sethrith get him all locked down.
Okay. I continue to meditate and read.
Okay.
And restore my spells and rest.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to do, or are we all bedding down for the night?
After helping Sethrith lock him down to the bed, right?
Yeah, you go over to the bed and y'all are able to, he's not very hard to tie down. There's no real resistance because his dexterity is like 1, so he kind of like, you go to like place him on the bed, but he's straight like a board. He just falls face first into the bed and like slams on it, like, ugh. And then you turn him over and you're able to tie him. You're able to tie him down and tie him down effectively.
Tuck him into bed.
Yeah, you tuck him in.
Get the blanket.
a half orc tuck in, which is close to a slap, but not exactly.
Yes, I was going to say it's more like a slap.
Half orc tuck in. All right, so he is tucked in for the night. Rin, you tucked him in as well. You're guarding over him, and we're going down for the night.
I'll be just outside sleeping, so if you need me, Rin, holler.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I'll be just outside, so if you need me, holler.
I'll holler if I need you.
Right.
All right.
I go outside, find somewhere close by to lay down and get some Z's.
So you got your sleeping out there. The night is pretty much just almost as hot as the day. It's a little bit less humid, but not much better. But you still get a comfortable rest. There's no type of, monsters or anything at this point. You don't encounter any animals. Luckily, Fergus, he's in a kind of a safe area in his little clearing here. So yeah, the night goes by without any type of real disturbances. And you get up the next morning and you notice that Volric is back to normal. He is able, you see him walking around. I don't know if he's talking, that's up to Volric, but he does appear to have his faculties back. He is up walking around.
You there, old man?
Sethreth.
He's awake!
We should probably get you out of this.
I give him a huge bear hug. Pick him up off the ground. Yes!
I have the most insane dream.
It's been a wild time.
Mushrooms and colors, and I stuck my finger up Ren's nose.
Yep, that happened. Yep, that really happened.
Where are we?
You eating your own boogers too, mate.
Does anyone have a hangover remedy that help?
Water. Get you some water. Hey, I go wake up Fergus. Fergus, some of that tea. Get him
I'm in
tea
my
now.
little hut, I guess. Oh yes, good morning, everybody. And I'll
Guess
be
what?
in there
You
making
live.
tea.
I didn't kill you. He's awake.
Oh.
I'll look outside and see Volric. Oh, look at that! It worked! Look, everyone, it worked!
I pat him on the back and knock a few mushrooms off in the process.
Yes, I'll get started on the tea right away. And I'll go.
I like you now. I won't kill you. Okay?
You do? Okay.
Kind of. You're still bloody weird. But anyway.
Okay. And I'll make the tea.
Bloody hairy yeti.
So, wait, what are you telling me?
Ah.
You're dead.
You were dead in the water. Very
Yeah,
No,
little.
dead in
not
the
just in the water. I mean, dead. You know,
Wake up.
fled from you. You had inspired.
The giant crocodiles.
Yeah. Those
I
crocodiles
remember
look
this
like
now.
little crocodiles or big crocodiles. And you
Oh,
died, basically.
those are big ones, weren't they?
Yeah.
Come out here, D. You want to see?
How am I back?
What?
This fungus guy, the hairy yeti,
And
Fergus.
I'll turn around with little fungus teacups.
Oh, yes, that was me.
And I'll approach you, Ulrich, and hand you a little teacup.
I brought you back. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
quite
very
likes
good.
the tea.
Very nutty.
Oh,
Good tea.
it is good.
Beach going to come out with Mora.
You brought me back?
Yes, I did.
I was dead and you brought me back?
Yeah,
I helped with the spark of life as well.
Yes.
Oh, bullshit. You fried him even worse, mate.
All right.
It was a sparkle, right?
So I'd like to know if I can get advantage. I'm going to try and punch him.
Fergus?
Why would you be getting advantage? Give me a good reason.
Because he probably wouldn't expect it.
I wasn't expecting it.
You know what? We'll just go with the rule of cool, and I'll give you advantage.
All right.
Okay.
Bloody hell. You're a violent bastard, aren't you?
It's at that point, Dimitri woke me up, so I'm walking over to see what's going on.
Fiora! Look! Ha, he's back.
I see you made it through the night.
Well, he's still a little bit weird, but better.
What is he doing?
All right.
Oh.
Yes, that definitely hits with a
Oh.
17.
Okay.
Oi!
All right.
Steady
So
on.
Do you do 7 points of damage?
I do 7 points of damage.
Oh,
and
I
then,
leap
Oh, we
over.
can hit people now? I didn't know that was a. So I can
I
just.
leap over.
Look at space.
Mushroom, man.
Look at space. So
And
you
then-
hit people now?
and then
Like bear hugging.
and so because I have Tavern Brawler, I get to immediately attempt to grapple.
okay.
Oh my
So,
God.
to grapple.
Can I jump in and try and beat him with
That's how we
initiative?
react.
Oh my
What the
God.
hell is going on here?
No!
This is all one attack.
This guy brought you back to life. What kind of person are you?
This is all one attack. Hold on.
Okay.
Dora, we need to stop this.
Yeah, I
Oh,
immediately.
you're on mine. You're
Oh,
mine.
okay.
So do I make
I
a...
don't even want
Yeah,
to.
we do contesting.
Okay, well,
strength
I
check.
rolled a natural one, so...
Poor
you-
Nathan
okay,
rolled
so
a
I
one.
win.
Welcome
Alright, so
to
I
the
win.
stream, Nathan, with your nat one.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
I grab him in a bear hug, and I kiss him on his other cheek. You
Oh.
beautiful, hairy,
Oh.
ugly man!
Okay,
I'll
so
be back.
Oh, he did. He did the Klingon resurrection. You punch the person and say, "Ha ha ha! My warrior brother."
I'm so sorry, Dora. I think some things might have changed.
And I try and pick him up.
Oh, I'm 7 feet tall, but
Okay.
you have very high strength,
I
right?
have 16 strength. Yeah.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
pick up for a moment, and I sit you down, and then I kneel down in front of you, and I put 2 hands around one of yours, taking a very submissive position now, and I say, I didn't know you. You brought me back. You brought me back to them.
I'm so confused right now.
Me too. You just punched the poor bastard.
You're
You
welcome.
blocked him, a ripper.
Oh, it was a good one.
Nobody gets to come back where I'm from.
Oh, look, a tooth. Okay, I'll put that for later.
Wait. And so I'll pick up that tooth, and
Oh.
I'll say, open your mouth.
Okay.
I'll place it in there. I'm going to use healing word.
Oh,
And I say,
okay.
thanks. And then I'll start to heal.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, yeah. It's good. It's a little. It used to go that way, but that's good enough.
I was excited. I
Pretend
get a
fungus.
second chance.
Yes.
Aize, Rin, Sethreth, Dimitri, Diora. I'm back.
Yeah.
I can't believe this.
Your
is
brain
real.
is looking like it's okay now.
Yeah, it's still scrambled.
I just walk over and I hand him his weapons and I look him dead in the eyes. If you do that again, I'm gonna kill you myself, okay?
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
I won't blame you, my friend.
Don't,
How was it
don't-
that we
please
didn't
don't
notice
ever-
these crocodiles were 20 feet long?
I don't know. It's like
In the
You know,
water,
we
they
got
look
a
so
Distracted.
basilisk,
small.
You're
you think
distracted
you
by
take
the
everything.
basilisk. You know,
I've heard that crocodiles are sit and wait predators. They don't like to be seen until
Yes.
they attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
they are
then I
quite
just
sneaky.
hug him and I say, I'm glad you're back.
And me too. And I give her a kiss, but just a quick one, like a
Wait.
friendly one.
Steady
I
on,
turn-
Tiger.
And I
Bloody
say,
hell, your brain is scrambled.
I just
was-
you
Like
just see
everyone.
you just see
Huh?
and then I turn, I reach towards Sethreth. I grab him as well,
Have a kiss for everyone.
and I give him a kiss as well.
You kiss it.
Who is you? Are scrambled.
A
Jesus.
second chance by
Making
the
me
walking
blush.
mushroom.
Making me blush.
What beauty!
When
I
you
will never
when,
forget you. As a matter of fact, what is your name?
Oh, you may call me Fergus.
Fergus.
And oh,
This axe. You see the carvings here, the runes.
I do. Yes.
My son made this for me.
Oh, beautiful.
I want you to have it.
What? Oh, are you sure? No, I'm really quite all right.
He would want you to have it as well.
Oh, okay. Oh my.
I'll take it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, really. If you don't mind me asking, well, why are you all here, anyways? Were you just here for the flower?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, it's a little bit confusion.
in a way of speaking, yes.
Oh,
That leads to one thing to the next. Yes.
You know, you said that you've been studying this flower for some time now. What is it exactly?
I'm not entirely certain. As I said, I don't really get words back. It's all through feelings and sensation. But it clearly has a strong connection with the magic of the island. And it has, as I've been able to deduce from observing it, it has remarkable healing properties. Some of the folk that live on the island, I've witnessed them very bravely be able to extract pieces of it before being turned to stone and running away. And it seems to have remarkable healing capabilities. I was never quite brave enough to go in by myself or with Morel. Especially with that basilisk. Yes, I know. It's been very frightening. He's very talkative.
What is that?
Oh, this is Quartermaster Morel. He is my superior officer. And we've been on this island for quite some time.
He's a zombie.
Well, what you were yesterday, but you improved, and this one did not.
Yes,
I was like that, huh?
almost. I did something quite different with Morel, but
Didn't Shaka say that he needs us to get that part of the plant to bring back one of his kind of zombies?
Yes, we need a nectar. I apologize for not answering more quickly, Fergus, but yes, there's some nectar from this flower. We were supposed to bring it, I believe, to a witch doctor who would help us create a potion one of their people has the ability to animate the dead to do work to support their tribe. But something has gone awry, and now these dead are more of a threat.
And what village would that be?
Tony?
You forgot.
The one where they
It's
eat people.
The
Tenora.
cannibal.
The one
Tenora.
where they eat people.
Well, yes, that is a common practice on this island. And it's
Cannibalism?
well, sure, and it's not as it seems. Well, either it is a sign of respect in some cultures, and in others it is a way to. They see it as taking some of the power from your enemies. I don't participate in it.
Yes.
Not my thing. But it's
I've read this. Eat not or be eaten.
well, no, it's not quite like that. But anyways, which village was it particularly? There's quite a few communities that use such practices.
Tony, did you just
Yeah,
say
Tenora,
Tony?
Tenora to the from where the position at you're south, about southeast. But it's the village was Tenora.
Okay, Tenora is the name.
Oh, yes, Tenora. I remember going there with Barbarossa when we first arrived.
Wait, Barbarossa?
What?
You knew Barbarossa?
You know Barbarossa?
Well, I believe, and I look at the rest of the group, I believe we can be candid with someone that just brought me back from the dead. Am I right? And I'll look at the group.
Hey,
see
guy,
if anyone
1 second.
says
There's
otherwise.
information about Barbarossa, and we are looking for it. So,
You're looking for Barbarossa?
Wait. Before you reveal that, let's take a break.
Oh no!
Let's take before you reveal how you know the pirate from the adventurous pirate for 30 years ago, and how you're on this island. Let's take a small commercial break. And we will be back in like 3 minutes. If anybody wants to say anything, I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Put any questions that you have in the stream, just put it in the chat. We'll be here to answer it. Me, myself, obviously any of the cast members, the ones that don't walk away for a second. But we'll be right back.
There's a good question. Oh, unfortunately, Space just disappeared. I guess when she gets back, we'll get the answer for you, Merc.
I see that answer. I see that question.
Yeah.
Damn Merc with his logic.
Back, Space. So Merc asked, well, isn't a party member a vampire ? And you draw the line at cannibalism.
Yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't meet other vampires because they're dead. So,
As long as it's not your
but
own.
human meat, that's just the nature of things. It's like, the circle of life, and
No.
but humans eating other humans, that's just weird. That's just weird. You got to draw the line somewhere. But as a half vampire, I mean, it's still kind of weird though. Yeah, only eat living things with blood in it.
Yeah, it's more ethical that
Yeah, it's more ethical.
Okay, all right.
Oh man, but yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah, by the way, Golden Tongues is my cousin Remy, by the way.
Hi, nice to meet you.
That's you, right, Remy?
Say.
No, I believe that's I don't know if I should say their name on the stream. I don't know if they want their.
Okay, so somebody from your stream.
It is from somebody from my stream.
Somebody that I know, then probably.
Yes, I'll let them. I'll let them decide.
Person.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
That is
That's
somebody
Claire.
from my
There
stream.
we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claire is one of.
Claire's my cousin.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But hi, Claire. Yeah. So it's my our friend Claire.
Yeah, Claire is one of the players in the stream that I'm on.
Hi, Claire.
Oh my gosh, Nathan, can I say you are killing it tonight? I love you. Like I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Thank you.
Open it up.
He's great.
You are really good.
Yeah, like I said.
Back.
And actually, let's let see how much time we have before everyone gets back. I would love for Nathan to talk more about Story Reckless, stuff maybe they're doing right now, if there's anything you would like to share. And then if we have time, also Jack to talk about H2, his business. And if we still have time, then I'll do more zombie impressions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I DM a stream on Twitch. We are called Story Reckless. You can find us at twitch.tv/Story Reckless. And we stream every Monday night at 7:30 Pacific time. And tomorrow we'll actually be starting a brand new adventure. So it'd be a perfect time if anyone is interested in checking us out to jump in. We tend to do shorter little arcs and do like brand new adventures each time. We do stick with the same characters most times, so there are some plot lines that continue through. But yeah, we're very narrative focused, actual play. We use Roll20, so we don't have the incredible Dwarven Forge that y'all have, which is so much fun. We just use 2D maps on Roll20. But yeah, if you are, I don't know, I guess if you're enjoying Fergus tonight, come on over tomorrow night, and I do tons of characters because I'm the DM, so I have to do all kinds of different characters.
Following you, just went across and clicked the follow right now.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Jack. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, really, that's it. So yeah, find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Story Reckless, and then we have our social channels on Instagram, story.reckless, and then we're on Twitter, which actually Claire sent me the handle for that. I couldn't remember. Reckless_story on Twitter. So yeah, thank you so much, Erik, for having, for offering to have me on tonight, and thank you, Tony, so much for DMing. I don't think he's there right now, but and then thank you so much to the cast for making this so much fun. Really keeping me on my toes there. I was worried that y'all were gonna maybe attack me. I
just wanted you on Nathan so I could punch you in the face.
Yeah. But no, it's been such a blast. So thank you all so much. And I'm going to take this opportunity to run and get water because this voice that I'm doing dries. Yeah, it's harsh. So I'll be right back.
All right, Jack, you're up, baby. Tell us about H2.
But yes, I have my own business. It's a laser cutting and engraving business called Project H2. You can find me on Facebook or Twitter, and the links for my business and store are all through there too. In the near future, I'll also have a web page put up, but that's still in the development phase. Recently, I had a stall in a comic book and toy fair and made up some new items. I'm wearing one of them today. It's Thor's hammer. See if I can get the camera to actually focus on it, which is terrible. But anyway, I've made up new jewelry and got Iron Man, which I wish it would focus on. Sadly, it's not. Captain America. And these are all made out of wood that have been painted. Superman. And one of my favorites, well, actually, I love them all, but I also got some pretty cool Black Panther ones.
Those are awesome.
So yes, new products, new stuff come out. Still hasn't been put up on the shop, but it will be. And of course, I've got the traditional D&D stuff, limited edition cases. They're all magnetized and hold all your goodies in. We call these our adventurers survival kits. Everything you need when you're role playing, and they are limited edition. There's only 50 of this style that has been made, and I've already sold through half. So yes, check me out on Facebook or on Facebook, and what the other one I said.
And is your name? Did they got your full name somewhere?
So my full name is Jack Hackenbruck. And yes, the business you'll do is when you just search under Project H2. If you have any problems finding it, search designed by Project H2. There we go.
Yeah. And Jack is poor Jack. I've pulled back in my incessantly bothering him, but he's working on a really cool sword for me.
Yeah.
That actually fits into something that happened today. But we'll reveal it later. Which I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Something happened earlier. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to have 2 super cool HT weapons in our game in the near future.
So yes, this is one that I first developed for my character, which I was at a medieval fair just on the weekend and had so many people coming up and asking about it, which is great, drumming up some interest. Also had lots of random people coming up and asking for photos, which was pretty cool. My son definitely loved it, and every time someone asked for a photo of me, he was jumped in side by side with me.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he was really like, Dad, we're famous.
Yeah.
Like, yes, not really, but yeah, we'll go with that.
Right. Man.
And yeah, so
Oh,
I was
wow.
developing for Erik a sword, and I was actually talking to the group before we started that I'm very tempted to make a twin of this blade because I'm loving it so much. It has far surpassed my expectations, and I can't wait to have it finished this week and in the post by the end of the week sent out to Erik. And if Erik's kind, he might do a video kind of reveal of him opening up the box and sharing that with his family. It's a great thing.
You got it, dude. Unboxing will happen.
Yep.
And there'll also be brand new pictures being taken that we use for the previews, right? So we'll do that, and yeah, we'll do more cool stuff in the future.
Very cool indeed. I'm actually organizing my photographer sometime, hopefully this week or at the latest on the weekend. We're going to meet up and do a special shoot just for that weapon. That will be held off till you've received it, but then we'll post, and it's going to have cool stuff like dry ice, so we get all the fog in that. Wow. And some tricky stuff where we might even get a model to hold it and do some cool poses with it.
Amazing.
Before it gets shipped out to you.
Amazing. Looks like we got the crew back.
Yay.
All right. I believe Merc wanted to know that question about the vampire. Did y'all answer it already?
You sure did.
Yeah, I answered it earlier. I definitely draw the line at cannibalism.
Hey, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
That's true. That's true. I could,
vampires.
It is sometimes.
In truth, I've recently.
Clip.
What did you say?
Just more like out of context sentences. Really good.
Cannibalism isn't so. I've recently had the thought that actually vampires aren't so bad when you think about it compared to what us as humans do. Hell, we gotta eat the flesh of a creature after we cook it and burn its flesh. Ouch. Vampires just like, here, I'm gonna bite you in the neck, you're gonna pass out, man. It's like, all right,
You won't feel a thing, honestly.
But humans, man, we're pretty vicious when you think about it. At any rate, let's get started. Y'all are back here.
Projects, Tony.
What?
Speaking of projects, actually, I'm getting ready to start launching Winged Horizon again.
Oh, okay. If you want to talk about that real quick.
Platform. Oh, just real quick. My first little, I guess you could say experiment or project was one I had fun doing based on last week's show. I made a little quick kind of a commercial, and I'm working on some artwork as well to share with y'all. I shared the video earlier today just before we got on, but I was kind of in a rush to get into all of this, so I didn't really get much time to share it around. But yeah, I go ahead and check it out. I'll be sharing it on the Nerdbauchery fan page group.
Also the Discord too.
Nerdbauchery friends, correct, Erik?
Yes, it's Nerdbauchery Adventures.
Yep,
it's the name of our Facebook group.
Yep, yeah. Nerdbauchery Adventures. Don't forget to post it in the Discord channel as well, self-promotion. All right, so I'll let y'all pick back up. We were just about to reveal, now that commercial break is over, how Fergus is at this island. Ooh, let's go.
So, you said that you were looking for Barbarossa. Is that right?
Yes. Well,
Do you know where he is?
We heard he was quite dead, to be honest, but if you have any stories about him.
Oh dear. Well, that would make sense.
How long have you been on this island?
Morel, how long have we been here?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, yes, okay. 30 years.
That's it. Oh, I thought you would have been here longer than that.
Well, I'm not from here. You see, I was on Barbarossa's ship when we arrived, and Morel and I were both a bit naturalists, and we went out into the jungle to see all the wonderful things while Barbarossa was talking with the local folks around here, and well, when we came back to the ship, this was not at Tenora, by the way. This was at a different area. We came back to the ship, and everyone was dead, and the ship was gone. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming maybe Barbarossa escaped. If you knew about him, maybe he got back word with I don't know, but they were gone, and many people were dead, and I've been here ever since with Morel. We've been surviving on this island, and over the years I've become quite fond of it, and I've met some of the folks around the areas, and yes, but I'm a bit sad to hear that Barbarossa's gone.
That's what we heard. We have not seen a body nor a grave, but
he was a bit of a father figure to me.
So what else can you tell us? I mean, you've done so much for us, but please entertain if you don't mind. What else can you tell us about this island, about Barbarossa's journeys? We found a map. I said, who has a map? Are you saying?
I think wasn't it Ren?
May I see it?
Yes, if it's paper, I probably have it. I take out the map, and I think Rin. I always assumed that Rin didn't need a map, actually.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I trust the historian.
Sure, I'll take a look. I'll take a look at the map.
Based on this, Fergus, I think this is the village where we arrived on our boat, and we are here. Well, this is where we fought the crocodile. I'm not sure where this is.
Do you mind if I take? May I?
Oh, please go ahead.
All right, and I'll take it. All right.
I did make a small copy.
Oh, okay. Is this the original here?
Yes.
Okay. That's Barbarossa's handwriting there. Well, okay. We are here,
and I will point to. There's like I mean, I can't really. Let's see the map here. Well, we're just southwest of the hex where you all left off it. It's just a little jungle hex just southwest of there, about half day's travel.
This is where we are here, and that's the swamp there. Oh, wow, this map is completely blank. Well, what would you like to know?
How much of this can you fill out?
Oh, a few things. Just to the north of us here, there are tar pits. I would maybe avoid those. Unless, sometimes you can get lucky, and one of the great beasts that reside within the interior of the island gets stuck, and then easy meal, if you can get it out. Anyways, and then north of there's a couple of communities. There's some cat folk that are living just north of here. I believe they arrived not too long ago, actually. And then north of them to the east.
Hold on. This cat folk, are they friendly?
Oh, sure. I mean, if you're friendly to them, right? Anyone can be friendly, as long as you show respect, right? Anyways, and north of them there's two more communities, and it starts to become a bit hilly there, and then it becomes very mountainous. I've actually never gone beyond the mountains, so I don't really know what's on the northern part of the island. I've seen great flying beasts in the sky, and I hid. I didn't want to go. They seem to reside on the northern part of the island, so don't go over there, perhaps. But the two communities that live to the north, there's some human folk and these strange. They're like a monkey and a raccoon put together with little skin flaps. They can fly around in the trees. If that's something of interest to you. And then far to the east, there's a great lake, and there's some lizard folk that live on the other side of the lake. Again, as long as you show them respect, they should be friendly to you. But be wary, because on the western side of the lake, there are these great bipedal beasts. I believe Captain Morel, Quartermaster Morel, called them dinosaurs. So I would be wary of those. There's quite a number of those that reside on the island.
Thunder lizards.
Oh, yes. Oh, I always did enjoy that name. Thunder lizards, yes.
That sounds very
Fergus.
dangerous.
Oh, they can be.
Fergus, have you seen any race similar to myself, or any signs of that race was ever here?
You mean
probably a good time for me to explain what I actually look like.
Mhm.
I'm 7.5 feet tall. I have jet black skin, and the markings that I have on me are more of a slightly lighter color than the jet black, but like a dark charcoal, and they kind of look like maybe birthmarks, and they're all over my body. I have characteristics that are not uncommon for orcs, but they're nowhere near as strongly defined. Like my fangs on the bottom only just are visible, unless I growl or open my mouth. My ears are only slightly pointy. I do have rough features that, somewhat orcish, but my eyes are jet black, red, sorry, bright red.
Bright
and I
red.
have a long forked red tongue as well. So there are some parts of me you go, he's possibly a half orc of some kind, but then you kind of would go, there's something not right. Like I've never seen an orc with black skin before. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
so that's why it's like, have you seen anything like me?
Tony,
Any signs of a race was ever here like me?
Tony, have I seen anyone that looks like Sethreth?
Give me a nature roll.
Nature? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say nature.
Okay.
Please roll high.
What did I get?
What'd you
We'll
get?
never find your family.
I got a 9, so not great.
No, you
nature-
haven't really seen anything familiar like that.
Yeah, my nature skill's not the best, but
Darn,
my
even with
survival's-
advantage, you'd still roll another 9.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Well, because there was mention that there was once a great race that owned this or owned this land.
Right.
Do you know anything about them?
Not much. I've seen ruins here and there, but I really don't know much about it. And
Any statues or paintings in those ruins?
well, sure, there's some statues here and there. But again, I haven't seen anything that reminds me of you. But maybe there's something. There could be something there.
Another dead end.
Sethreth,
Yeah.
well, I have seen or heard of some wizards or mages, magecraft, that if you give them a little blood, they can look for your lineage.
Really?
They can find traces through time, usually to curse you, but it could be a place where you could go. That might be one option.
Curse me?
Well, they're blood mages. They don't do it for nice.
Well, I'm not going to let them curse me. I'll pay for it though. But not with a curse. No.
It just sometimes you have to make a deal with a demon or something. But hey, you get what you want.
No, I kill demons. I don't make deals with them.
Well, make a deal, then kill it.
Well, then I'm still a deal, isn't it? Anyway, okay, that doesn't help me right now. But thank you.
Maybe we can ask the dinosaurs.
Oddly enough, I don't think I've ever wondered or checked what Seth's race is. Could I try?
Yes, I don't see why you couldn't. Go ahead and give me a nature
history?
roll.
Would be history though for him?
Yeah, you know what? You can do his history works too. That's fine. You can do history. Fine.
Yeah, I would say it'd be more history for him.
I'm just +6.
Wow, y'all are just rolling. Y'all are rolling.
I felt that.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what's going on with y'all's rolls tonight, but
It's all good. I'm getting it out of
wow, and Erik too. Boy, y'all are just wow. Okay, well, there's Josh with his history roll.
I read a lot. Everybody else got like 10, less than 12 or less. I got 16.
All right, Josh, you've read a little bit.
Try it.
Oh, who wants to
We're
try?
all just clicking, messing with our history. Let's see.
We're all
Yeah,
seeing
give it
how
a go,
bad we are
Rin.
in history class.
Give it a go, Rin.
Okay,
You
I'm
might
gonna-
have read some elvish book somewhere that
never
mentioned
know.
something.
No, Josh is the only one. You in your travels, you've heard some stories of half orcs similar to Sethreth, but you don't really. That's about it. There just seem to be stories of a race of powerful, extra powerful half orcs that also sometimes acted crazy, but yet were quite comical.
Yeah.
I did hear, to be jokes aside, humor aside.
Yeah, humor aside.
There is, I have read a lot in my time and also have come across some interesting people. One of which I remember, they're travelers. They go between places, and they have mentioned sometimes in their drinks a great race such as yourself, but they speak in the past, not of the present, typically.
Let me guess. They're called Zaldrak. I've done all I've found of anything is the name Zaldrak, which means black demon. It's the only history I've been able to find.
It's not a very flattering translation.
Would I take a religion check or something?
Go ahead and give me, since you knew the history, that means you're the only one that would even get this point. So yeah, Josh, just give me another history check on that. Or if it's a religion, is a religious icon. If it's religion, then I'll let you choose what you want to do, religion or history. Can't do both though. You get one roll.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, I'll do the history again, and when you show me the markings and the name, I go, now that. Speaking of demons, it seems, yes. Tony, tell me what I say.
That
probably not going to cut it.
Well, what do you're wanting to know? Just if you have heard of this demon's name before, or just his being called the Black Demon?
Yep. So they're not demons, but they're called.
No, called the Black Demons. I would say
I heard of a Black Demon, yeah.
That name, just hearing that name, you remember a story of an entire town, man, woman, and child that had been slaughtered by something called the Black Demons.
When he says Zoldrak, does that ring a bell with me? Because I didn't have that information before.
I would say since you didn't pass your history check, did you do a history check? I didn't. Did you do one?
Yeah, I did do a history check.
Give me a quick history, Rum Tickle.
Okay, one sec.
Because I thought you did a history for 12. My bad.
He did. I think it's.
I did. I just said it.
Then,
oh, okay. Then no, you wouldn't recognize. You would have needed that first success. So no, you wouldn't recognize that name.
Yeah, that's what I was asking because I didn't recall.
My bad. My bad. I thought you. So no, you wouldn't recognize. You didn't have that first success. So no.
Sethreth, you are, from my observation in our short time knowing, you seem to be a kind folk, one that cares about others. You mentioned this name. I've only heard this name in curses. One that means destruction or terror or death. Perhaps this is not a road you would want to continue down. It could lead to things beyond your control.
I know. From what I've been able to find out from the orc tribes, even they seem to fear that name. But I need to know. I need to know.
I recommend going to the great library of Candledeep. Bring a book.
What's a book gonna do?
Well, that will get you in the library. And there they have many, many records from what I have heard of the entire history of this realm that they could. The wise men, the mages, the... Well,
Searching books, not something I'm skilled at doing. It's not. I wouldn't know where
do you
to
think
start.
anybody that knows a demon would still be standing or living? No, if they do anything, they'd have to write it down. It's in the past. Books bring the past to life. You should read a book.
But reading's not exactly my strongest skill.
I will get
I
you a
wouldn't know where to
pizza.
start.
I will get you a pizza each time you read a book. You can do this, Sethra.
I'll stick to hunting. That's something you should do for me, I reckon.
What, hunt?
No, help me with the books. Why don't you do the research and I'll find some way to pay you back in favor? Is there not something that you need help with in return?
Oh, like killing something?
Yeah, now that I can do.
That's what he has me for.
Well, you can share. You don't have to kill everything on your own, do you?
Well, depends on what it is. If it's dinner, then I would want to kill that on my own.
I would welcome, despite her defensiveness, you are definitely welcome to watch over her more than me. But yes, just don't dump into the water again. I don't want to have to go after you.
Thank you for helping me. I do appreciate it.
You're lucky you didn't lose the axe.
I'm lucky I didn't lose my life.
For what it's worth, Sethrith, I'll do everything I can to help you. We might not be in the right place to do that. It'd be a strange coincidence if we find them on the island, but I can feel your pain.
Looks like I've come to another dead end. Ah, well, plenty here to kill though.
I just turn to Fergus and I say, maybe I was wrong about you, and I owe you an apology. I may have come off a bit too aggressive yesterday.
It's okay. I understand.
It's not okay. Sometimes I act before I think. So.
It's a very dangerous place here, and people tend to resort to survival. And survival tends to lead to violence very often. So I understand, and at least you did not kill me, and that's the best I could hope for. And I'm sorry that I lied to you about the seed. I didn't really know what to do. I saw how dangerous you all were, and that you killed that basilisk, and yes, I was able to scare the crocodiles away, but then it was just me and Morel, and people tend to act violently towards us when they see us. As I can tell.
Well, you have a zombie with you. That's not.
I know.
Not quite normal.
It's not quite a zombie though. It's a little different. Yes, I know, Morel. It's hard to explain.
He's a zombie in the traditional sense, if I might interject.
Well,
I suspect he is not an undead.
Not quite.
He's more like a two living.
Kind of. Yes.
Does he have blood in his system?
Not really.
It's the fungus, right?
Yes, it is. And
he sounds like a fun guy.
No.
I'm back.
Did you think of that?
Yeah, I think he
Wahlberg, do you have some kids hidden somewhere in your backstory?
Here's a fun guy.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. Let's kill Wahlberg again.
Well, at least we know the man that was brought back was the one that was dead in the
I turn to
water.
Fergus and I say, you might have brought him back, but you didn't bring back his sense of humor. So thank you for that.
Yeah, he's more fun when he's dead.
So Fergus,
Yes.
I have so many questions for you, but there's one that I've been agonizing over. We do have this alliance of a sort with the village of Tamora. Can we trust them?
Oh, yes. As long as you, as I said, treat them with respect. And I'm assuming they probably needed you to prove something before they would really let you in. Is that why you were getting the flower, right? Oh, yes, of course. I've seen that one before.
We're looking for a hub of a sort as well. Camping out in the jungle for the many weeks and probably months we'll be here would be ideal. So we wanted to come back to them. And then they seem to have some information we'd be looking for as well. But I want to make sure that these aren't some kind of, I don't want to be judgmental, some kind of monsters that perhaps we shouldn't be teaming up with.
No, they're not. They're fine. Just, don't anger them. Just like anybody else, they are quite protective. This is their home, after all.
Maybe you could come and talk to them on our behalf.
Oh, I suppose so. I haven't been there in probably a couple of years now. Actually,
And I'll go into my hut and you just hear a bunch of rummaging around and I come out with a big sack.
I actually do need to do some trading with them. Hey, Morel, you stay here at camp, okay? Yes. No. Stay again. No. Please. I know. Quartermaster, please. Will you stay at this camp for me and watch over it? Okay, good. Yes. He'll stay here and we can all, yes, I can introduce you. I'll do my best.
What's in the bag?
Fergus, there might be a way that they can help you too.
Help me with what?
I have so
Well,
many
they
questions.
hired us to help them turn someone back from a zombie, I thought they said. So maybe we can help you with your friend.
Oh, well, as I said, there's a bit different than Morel. I need to now wait for at least a year for another seed to be reproduced by that plant, and then I will try it on Morel. And I do.
So you did literally use our friend as a
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
You've got some big kahunas.
Well, at least we
Yeah,
appreciate you helping him when you could have helped your friend first.
Yes, I do feel a bit sheepish about lying, but
It would
it's
have been
all.
a shame if you would have died too.
Well, yes, it
But
would
hey.
have. But at least I would have died here, and all my plants would have been fed, and it would have been okay, really. Anyways. But yes, I could join you to the village, and I could try to introduce you. I'll do my best. And was there anything else that you wanted to know?
Yeah, I actually had a question. Have you been like this with the fungus since you got into the island? Or
Oh, it took a while. Yes. Morel noticed it first, before Morel was Morel, and he helped me cultivate it. And then one of those dinosaurs I was speaking of, well, it got to him. I was able to wrestle it away before he well, anyways, then I felt a connection as he returned to the earth, and then he started moving. And then I realized I could kind of preserve him in this way, and now he's here with me still, and he's my friend. I still do take orders from him sometimes, though. Sometimes he tells me to do things, and I must respect the order of the ship, as it were. But yes, I seem to develop it on the island.
And what's in the bag?
Oh, it's just, rare plants and things I find in the jungle. They like it, and I can trade with them, and they give me some things in return.
And I have one more question.
I'll open the bag up, and it's just filled with like all kinds of weird plants and mushrooms and things.
I have one more question. I mean, you've obviously been on this island for a very long time. 30 years, you say. Do you know most? I know, like, you know most of the groups here, and somewhat.
I mean, I keep my distance. I mainly only talk with the folk in Tenora, but
Has anyone tried to attack you, or?
Oh, sure. Yes.
How do you protect yourself?
Oh, I have my ways. I can also be quite sneaky. I could actually, I can make it very difficult for things to see me. So that's one way. And if things get really bad,
I'll go back to the house and I'll pull out this big staff.
I can use this to hit things with, and I do have other tricks up my sleeve.
Fergus, on the way there, perhaps we can share our knowledge of plants and alchemical properties. I'm looking for some new recipes to add to my book.
Yes, of course. I would love to share. I could tell you all about it, at least my limited knowledge.
It'd be much appreciated.
And on staying alive, returning back, we would like to know any more routes that you could add for the island, of places to avoid, places like, tar pits and food and water.
There's not really anything on the way to the village. We should be quite fine, but there's some things to avoid. There is an abandoned village to the southwest of here. I wouldn't go there. It seems to attract the undead. They seem to be drawn to it. As well as the waters to the south of here. I've seen very massive creatures. One time, there was a ship out on the water in the evening. I saw it out there, the twinkling lights. And then it pulled under the waves, disappeared. And I heard their screams across the water. And then they stopped. I'm assuming they're dead now. So I wouldn't go out in the waters. I would be careful. And of course, there's the dinosaurs.
Do you hear that, Vorik and Sethric? Please stay out of the water.
Oh, yes.
Just to summarize, here's what I have on the... Sorry.
I was just gonna ask the follow-up question for food. I mean, you got your tea situation obviously figured out here, but
yeah, I can scrounge food around the area, no problem.
I've also got that crock that we smoked up last night.
Yes.
Crock jerky.
Oh, it's delightful. Thank you for that. I love the way you prepared it.
That crock, from a game perspective, will be enough for 3 days solid food before it spoils. So each person will have enough to cover for solid food. You'll still need water for 3 days worth of food.
And we've still got a day's worth of water, plus where we stopped off, I left about, I think, almost another day for half the team as well.
Just wanted to summarize Fergus's information. Just to confirm, Fergus, if you will.
Of course.
To the north are the tar pits. There are also 2 villages north of the pits. One is a tabaxi, cat people.
I think they call themselves Rakasta.
Rakasta.
Yes.
Interesting. So that's to the north. And north of that are hills and mountains where there are large flying beasts.
Yes, it appears to be. I may have been a dragon, I don't know, but I hid. But I saw something coming from the north. I think it resides on the northern part of the island.
And there's a human village And the village of monkey, raccoon, flying squirrels.
Yes, Fanaton is what they are called. Fanaton.
Fanaton. I kind of preferred monkey, raccoon, flying squirrels, but very well, Fanatons. And you mark those on the map, thank you. To the east is a lake, and on the east part of the lake is a lizard folk village.
Yes.
And then the northern part of the lake, we should beware of thunder lizards.
Northwestern part, yes.
All right. And there's an abandoned village to the southwest that attracts undead.
It does. And just west of there, there's a small bay on that southern peninsula. And those waters in particular, they're full of undead. So definitely, Sethreth,
okay.
Don't go swimming there.
Okay.
All right.
Ones, okay. And to the south, the waters to the south have massive sea monsters.
Yes, I've never seen them clearly, but there's something in the water.
Dragging ships under. All right. The village where we're going to trade, where you're going to trade.
Yes.
Which one is it?
Tenora. Or is it Tenora?
Yeah, our village.
Oh, our village. Okay. Sorry, I got confused. Tenora is human village, Shaka Zulu.
Yes.
Gotcha. You mentioned that you were part of the crew of Captain Barbarossa.
Oh, I was.
And you got shipwrecked here?
Well, in a sense, yes. I guess I was left behind.
Oh, he marooned you?
Well, I guess so. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I think he assumed we were dead. As I said, I came back to the beach where we had made landing, and there was dead bodies everywhere. Everyone had been slain, and I just assumed that the worst. I didn't see the ship anywhere.
I remember you had more of your own goals on that trip, but how much did you know about what you all came here for?
Oh, well, there was a great, terrible storm that knocked us off course, and then we ended up here, and, Barbarossa wanted to explore. It was something new. And that's when we met all the different folk and heard the rumors of, the great civilization in the interior and treasure. And we were running low on supplies, and we had some rough encounters earlier. And then that was when we were charting the coast and made landfall at one of the beaches. And that's when Morel and I went off into the jungle. And when we came back, everyone was gone. Barbarossa was mentioning something about coming back at a later time, but I guess he never made it back. I must be honest, no one really leaves here.
This city, this ancient city of riches, did you find anything more about it now that you're here?
No, I couldn't be bothered.
What do you mean no one ever leaves?
No one leaves. I've never seen anyone leave. And if they try to leave, well,
What does that mean?
We don't know.
Oh, well, they either get dragged under the water by the horrible monsters or some terrible disaster befalls them and they get marooned. And Morel and I tried to escape many times. Yes, I know. It was terrible. Yes, there was that one time. Remember when we built the raft and we made it out, and then just a storm came out of nowhere.
Interesting. It's like the island doesn't want you to leave.
I guess so. But, it's a wonderful place, really, once you get used to the bugs.
I have a feeling the answer lies in those treasures.
Possibly. Although we do have a ship off the coast waiting for us. I'm wondering what would happen if we tried to leave on it.
Look.
Are they in danger of simply being docked at the shore?
Oh, probably not.
But if they try to leave, then they run the possibility of being dragged underneath the water.
All I know is that every time we tried to leave, some terrible thing happened, and we could never get off the island. And then every other folk that have arrived here, like yourselves, either die some way or they never leave. I see them try to leave, and then the ship washes up on shore weeks later, or at least the remains of it.
Did we just walk into a trap, Ulrich?
According to him, perhaps so.
Bloody hell.
The thing is, someone must have left at some time in the past.
Oh, that's true. You said
Otherwise,
that Barbarossa.
we wouldn't have a map.
Oh. Well, yes, maybe I just have terrible luck.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
That's a lot easier to handle than thinking that we're going to be stuck here forever.
It's not so bad here. I was going to say, if at any point you're traveling through the area, you're welcome to stop by.
Well, our current mission is still the same. We need to find a replacement for the mast of our boat.
Oh, so something did happen.
Oh, yes, we were set upon by a group of avian monsters.
Oh, yes.
I should
The worst.
That they're harpies. Do I know the term harpy, Tony?
Yes, you would know the term harpies.
Harpies set upon us and did a great deal of damage to the ship before we dispatched them. So we are unable to sail away even if we wanted to because the mast will not survive the journey. So we're looking for, well, I guess a log. A big one.
I mean, don't take any of these ones. This is my home, but there's plenty around.
Oh, no offense, Mr. Fergus. I've been trapped in one land and I don't want to be trapped in another.
Oh, yes, no, that would be terrible. But as I said, it's not so bad here.
I'm sure you're absolutely right. But I would like to leave and travel.
Just out of
If we do, go ahead. I was gonna say, if we do leave, would you come with us?
I don't know. As I said, every time something terrible happens.
They haven't left with us.
I suppose.
You could bring your not zombie friend.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't want to leave until I could get another seed, and that won't be for another year. So, unless you're willing to stay here for quite some time.
Well, I'm sure.
That is very noble of you. We'll think about it.
But you are coming with us to Tamora, correct?
Oh, sure. Yes.
And shall we hit the track?
Oh,
Just
sure.
out of curiosity of everyone here, this wasn't really something I thought of before, but as far as finding a tree and selecting it and carving it into a mast, does anyone here have any skill as a shipwright?
I spent 20 years as a shipwright, so I think I'll be able to handle that part.
All right, just asking. Shall we be off?
So, shall we? Rin? We'll take the lead. Unless, of course, you're a better guide, probably, Fergus.
I can help. I would love to show you around. I don't want to presume.
If you can lead us the safest and quickest way back to our village,
Sure.
I'll be grateful.
All right. Well, follow me.
All right, I'll stay close to him.
All right. So y'all.
I'm in the.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just in the back with Dimitri. Like, are we gonna turn into an? Like, what is? Are we gonna turn into that? Are we gonna start like growing fungus out of our bodies?
Who knows? Who knows? You know, maybe.
And I'm just like seeing how happy this bugbear man is, and I'm just like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to be here.
I don't think it's a
Bugbear, after all.
surviving on the island, but his unique situation is what probably fostered this. I mean, we've seen the villagers, and none of them are growing fungus.
That's true, yeah.
What?
Although I have a vague memory of, I'm trying to remember, there's a type of druid. Just can't recall. Specialized in mushrooms or something. I have to think more on it. Archive, remind me.
Druid of spores.
Bad.
And Aize tries communes with his book and the spirit within it, and see if starts pouring through knowledge and seeing if there's something there. But only as an aside, still trying to make sure I don't trip over a root in the jungle while I'm following.
Okay. Do you want to do a roll to see what are you trying to find out?
The nature of Fergus's power.
Oh, just like you did the Arcana before. Well, you know the Arcana didn't work. Your book, we'll give it one more chance, but it's going to be a hard Arcana for the book. So give me another Arcana. We'll do it try one more time. See if your book knows something. Give me an 18 or above since you didn't get success.
21.
Oh my God! All right, it figures. All right, your book is flipping through, and it's all it can come back with. It's still a great mystery, even to the book, but it does have some information that power of this sort can form a connection not just with the user, but those it has been used on.
But is it okay? I was more curious to see whether or not it was what form of magic it took. Is it Thurgy?
Oh, it's a mystery. It doesn't. You have no idea. This is something that is some kind of weird, just magic. Okay. It's magic. But yeah, it doesn't have a type, for this one.
I will mark it in the book under nature magic.
There. But you do know that big thing you got is that it forms a connection not just with the user, but anything that it's used on.
Curious. I'll share that with Volric and Sethroth later.
Okay.
Those are the only two people I believe. Yes. Yeah, Volric and Sethroth.
All right. So,
because he's not. Fergus is not malevolent, so I wouldn't.
Know of.
He has had plenty of opportunities to end us.
Maybe it's the long con.
He could just basically have stood and watched us get eaten by crocodiles, for example.
What if he planted a seed, like an alien seed, inside of our friend, who will later eat us all?
Could be the long con.
That alone is worth documenting. Okay.
All right. So you know that information. Y'all are on your way back. Normally we would have to do travel time, but since we got a guest, we're not going to do that. I assume you're stopping back for your water. So you have enough to make it back to the town? Because if you don't, you're not going to have enough water to make it back alive. Well, at least not very thirsty.
Can I make a check for something, Tony?
Well,
I would like to do a tinkering check to see if I would come up with a water catching device as we walk, so we can catch water as we're moving through the wet, marshy rainforest.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's what they do in the desert. For you to do that, you would not be able to be walking. You have to be still. But what we will do is let you roll a device that will give you advantage, almost like a water finder, give you a little bit of advantage when you use it. But you have to roll first to see if you even make it. It's going to be a big roll. Give me a 20. I want to see.
So, what would I be rolling? Intelligence or wisdom?
I'll let you pick that one. And then what did you want, Sethreth?
Well, we all have left on us a day's worth of water, and Diora doesn't actually drink water, so that's one extra. And wasn't there somebody else that said they didn't need?
Well,
Dimitri?
Yeah, you just need like a day and a half, so you got enough to make it back then.
So when we go to make camp this evening, I will probably go to Rin and Fergus to go look for more water.
We'll do that. We're like I said, I'm gonna have it where we're not even doing the trek because we got a guest. So I have to have it where
You
we
want me to do the roll now? We just roll it.
you can roll it. Yeah, just roll to see if you have enough water real quick because I have it right here. All you got to roll is a DC 10 survival check.
Rin, do you want to roll as well? Both to work on it. So it'll be survival.
I'm going
I got very bad. I only got a 9. So I can't find water.
I am going to give Rin inspiration for her hunt.
All right.
Oh, Rin.
So it's not advantage.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Additional D4.
I'll
D6.
ignore
D6, yeah.
D6.
She smashed it. She got 24. Well,
she doesn't even need it. She got it. So, Rin, you're able to.
That's always good to hear. I don't.
Yeah, right now. We're going to do a quick one tonight. Instead of making roll for each hour like we normally do for searching. You're able to find. You luckily with this massive thing, you find a store like a little puddle. Like soft ground, and when you pull up the soft ground, you notice that like a bubble has formed and has enough fresh water for everybody that needs it for the day to get back to town.
Good job, Rin.
What? All right, so y'all
I
are.
look at my contraption; it didn't catch any water, and I throw it away.
Yeah, your contraption did not work. You littered in the rainforest? What a jerk. You're littering the rainforest. All right, so I'm joking around. All jokes aside. So
it's all biodegradable. I don't have any metal to work with.
That's true.
I'm not taking mine off.
That's true. So you guys make it to the native village. You and Ferguson and everybody else. Or Fergus, I'm sorry, I call Ferguson. And Fergus, y'all make it to the native village. And there you actually see, hold on a second. At your approach, you see Shaka and the Queen Jakala as you approach. Now, of course, you don't speak Fergus, you would understand because you've been on the island long enough to know the languages. Plus you have a reason for knowing. But everybody else, other than
hold on.
What?
I'm gonna throw up a comprehend languages.
Okay. And as she begins to speak, the first one is the queen begins to speak. Chakala kotula. Bakala semine sufala. Now, then Shaka comes out. She is surprised that you have made it back. What do you have to tell us? Did you succeed in the swamp? Now, Volric, which is very interesting about this, is you heard this whole thing in common. When she spoke, you actually understood her words.
Do you speak common, milady? I say to, what's her name again, please?
Now everybody else other than Azize, Fergus, and you hear Bukala Sikumate Kukamwa. What is common? That's what you hear. What is this common? We speak the island.
Am I not speaking my language? And I look around to see if the rest of them are comprehending me by the looks of them.
Everybody give
seriously?
Everybody give me a perception check, but it'll be very low because you're standing right next to them. So unless you're picking your nose or something, then you're probably not going to notice. But give me an 8 for perception. Everybody 8 or above.
Ooh, 23.
Watch somebody be picking their nose. $5 is somebody's picking.
I look at you boys like.
Wow, look at all those 20s.
Everybody got 20 or more.
My God.
Why is this the one we roll already?
Wow.
This must be.
When it doesn't matter. When it doesn't matter.
Guys,
that's when we do.
We're not in combat, guys. Okay? Save your high rolls.
Critical hit.
So all of you notice, Erik, you didn't need to roll it, obviously.
That was Erica. That was Erica.
Oh, Erica. Okay. So everybody noticed that Erik, yes, he is speaking the language that they are speaking when he speaks to them. When he was obviously speaking to you, it was common, but when he speaks to them, it's coming right out as their language.
And Fergus is speaking to them using that language as well, right?
Fergus, are you Spurkus? I don't know if Fergus has spoke to him. He hasn't. Have you said anything, Fergus?
Well, I was about to ask, am I surprised by this with Volric, or is this something I would be aware of?
I would say you are not for yourself, but you're surprised that it had the reaction on Volric.
Okay, but I have a similar thing then.
Yes, you're connected to the... Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I look surprised, and I turn to all of you and I go,
oh, I guess an extra benefit from what I did. It's just something I could do. Hello, Chaka, and...
Was it Chakala?
Yeah, Jakal.
Chakal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shaka and Chakal, nice to see you again.
It is you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I didn't mean to interrupt. I've brought something for trade, and I've met these folks. Very friendly. We've are acquaintances now. And it looks like my acquaintance here at Volric is similar to me in that he can understand and speak to you like I can.
Touché, Jakal speaks. Touché tashin fagas. Mokula. Swincha. She says, for those who do not speak the island, that she welcomes Fergus and his fellow companions. You have proven yourself to be quite trusting over the years. Don't let that change now by putting possibly the faith in the wrong people. Tell us, have they come back with the healing flower to save the zombie master that we so need? Or did they run, like the cowards I believe they may be?
Oh no, they defeated the basilisk. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Actually, our falcon defeated the basilisk, but we were there. Rin, you want to show what we got at the flower?
Goes and presents it in her hands and puts her head down.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. We did.
Did you take part of the flower as well, Rin?
I'm just passing it on.
Passing it on.
Okay, I reached into my bag and I pull out the little handkerchief and I open it and I hold it out.
There's gasps like from the rest of the villagers that have gathered around. They're all like, and Jakal, she looks at it and she gives you a look of like, almost like proud, like not proud like your children, but like respect now. Before it was looking down on you, now it's like she looks, Inshallah, Shumbina, Kofimahiya. To our amazement, even my own, you have succeeded while our own warriors have failed. Truly, you have a fighting spirit like the tiger itself. Now, you will need to bring that down to our witch doctor, Techula. He is to the south, you will find him. There he will create a salve from the healing flower. And let me be the first to say, I am impressed that you have made it and you have succeeded here. Perhaps there is some hope for you after all. You are not like the other outsiders that enslave Shaka. You may have honor after all. And he kind of like looks at you, kind of gives about. Jakal turns around and she walks back in. Before he goes, you can stay and trade in the village, Fergus, with whatever you need. And you, the rest of your companions, you are now welcome here whenever you wish to mend your wounds, refresh your supplies, and do whatever it is you need to do before heading back onto the island. I will say this, though. Your friend, Volric, and he points. You should talk to the witch doctor. There's something you should know. You have been taken by the island.
That sounds a bit ominous, Shaka. I'll
And
ask.
he just kind of like looks at you and turns and walks back into the hut with Jakal.
Volric, may I have a word with you?
Yes.
Actually, Seth, you too. Sethreth, a word with you as well.
I'll come with you. What's up?
I would share it in front of the entire group, but I'm not sure how you'd feel about it, especially considering Shaka, what he mentioned, but just the nature of Fergus's magic. It turns out that there was information in the Great Library that I had come across, and I just explained to them exactly, well, no, I'll just do it, yeah, never mind. It works both ways. The power that Fergus uses, that he channels from the island, affects the subject as well. You are bound, a sort of binding. But I suspect that minor magics like healing probably don't cause a hard bond, but you got brought back from the dead by the island, which is about as huge a fundamental change as a life form can go through from death to life. So I suspect its hold on you is stronger.
Well, what do you mean, like, hold on?
I'm not sure. I'm just, like I said, I'm just sharing with you what I remember reading about this type of magic.
I feel like this
Going
is
to be stuck here too, like Fergus?
No, I don't think so. I only mention it to you in case I'm wrong. But if I'm right, you're fine. And you can, and any healing that Fergus casts is perfectly acceptable. But your case, Volric, I mean, we took a seed from a sacred plant on the island that's known for its healing properties. It was placed on you, and Fergus channeled his magical energy with no malicious intent. And but you know, everything comes with a price.
indeed. I'm expecting this talk with the witch doctor will tell me something similar.
Oh, certainly. I would ask that when you speak with him, just as a favor, could you invite me along so I can hear?
Yes, you please come with me.
All right. Anyhow, you two feel free to share my observations with the rest of the group. I just didn't feel it was my place to say it out in the open.
And you derive this from what?
Oh, years of study in the Great Library of Termish.
Maybe we should wait until we know more.
Yes, just, you know, be aware.
Your
That was
choice,
fascinating, though, the fact that he has managed to transfer language to you.
Yeah, that was strange.
A bit unsettling, but could be incredibly useful.
Indeed. And that's why, another reason why I do not believe that you are in any danger of being bound to the island, Sethreth. You didn't understand a word they said.
I'm more worried about Boris, not myself so much. Like you said, his bond was strong.
And please remind me the next time we discuss this, I forgot to ask Dimitri to come and give his impression as well.
He just wants to
Dimitri's off in a corner by himself.
poking some brain.
All right. Well, if I had to count how many ominous stories that I had pointed my way, it'd be a lot.
Well, I'm glad you're alive.
And I addressed to the whole group, I say, the bigger issue is that the witch doctor, Testavilla?
Tachula.
You say quesadilla?
It's Tachula.
Tachula.
As close as I could get to T'Challa without being T'Challa.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine. No problem.
Rest in power, brother. All right.
Yeah, okay.
We should just call him quesadilla now.
Quesadilla. Yum.
I'm gonna call him Tachula. Yeah, because is he around that abandoned village to the southwest that's full of undead by the lake of full of undead?
No. He is south of Tenora, where you're at.
Okay.
Where you're
Good.
at. Where you are now.
Do we need to let
It's
your
about
friend know on the ship that we're still alive?
You
Yeah.
are.
We do need to talk to them. We need to warn them as well.
Also, we need to trade for a mast.
You're a day's journey from the witch doctor. About a day and 6 hours.
Right.
Maybe we should go make sure they didn't turn up dead on the beach.
Or that a sea monster hasn't swallowed the ship.
Yeah, we need to warn them. We need to make sure they're keeping a lookout for sure.
And tell them not to eat anything off of this island.
Well,
What?
What's wrong with eating something from the island?
Yeah, we've been doing it.
I think they just best not to, try to leave, apparently.
I mean, but if they did leave and we saw it, maybe, well, I don't know. This is not I'm not really smart like you guys, so. Do you think they have a chance of escaping?
well, bugger them. They're going to stay here anyway till we're done.
There must be a way. Somebody has done it before. Someone can do it again.
There's always an answer.
And it's not the answer we need to find right now.
Dior, can I talk to you?
Later.
Yes.
Now we need to get this next part of their quest done so we can get the shit fixed. Hopefully in that process, you guys can find some loot. Make it worth your while.
Before we do that, I wish to speak to Diora.
What can I do for you, Lord?
Alone, if you don't mind.
Oh, Sloane.
Yeah, I just follow him to a secluded spot.
I'm looking at you two very suspiciously.
Yeah, I'll turn to Dimitri. What's going on with those two? He's old enough to be a father.
Diora.
Do I hear this as we're walking away?
I'm not saying it quietly.
I turn to Sephiroth and I say, listen, I don't know how old you are, but it's very bad practice to assume a woman's age. And if I want to be honest,
he blushes.
If I want to be honest, I'm a lot older than all of you here.
Yeah,
I've been around for. Well, thank you.
You look like you're in your early 20s.
That's not a bad thing.
Funny ideas, big man.
I'm really. Do you know how old I really am, Sephiroth?
What?
Do you want to know how old I really am?
Okay.
I'm 100. Yes, I've been around for a long time.
You're doing trekking pretty good, love.
Of course.
Thank you.
I'm here.
It's from all the human sacrifices. No, I'm just playing. Maybe.
I'm just gonna go over here, mind my business for a while.
You do that, love. Okay.
Dimitri's laughing a lot out of that one.
And I just follow Sephiroth.
Ayize continues to take notes.
I'm gonna slide out of this.
As far as Ayize is concerned, this party is just like a giant science experiment that he's watching. More like arcane experiment that he's watching. The library is just gonna love this. Diora, by the way, if you ever feel the inclination, I'm not asking you, but I would love for you to share the nature of your nature. But I'm not prying.
Sure. Maybe we can sit down and have tea one day.
Oh, tea would be wonderful.
That
Did you
was
say that?
sarcasm.
Oh no, I assumed it was. I like tea, so.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It was sarcasm, but sure, we can have tea. And I just walk out the Vorik, shaking my head. This group is something else.
I walk with her. All the things around us and looking for a scandal within. Hilarious. Well, Dior, here's why I want to talk to you, my friend. Before I came back, when I was in the death throes from those 2 giant crocodiles tearing me apart, I saw you right beside me. In trouble yourself. I don't know how you survived, but I'm glad you did. But I looked into your eyes, and from there I was pulled into another place, some kind of purgatory of a sort. I felt that I saw my son, and he was there. He told me I had to go back. I just want to know, did you see anything? Did you feel anything when I passed?
No, I tried my best to get to you, and then I was attacked, and everything happened so fast. Fergus came out of nowhere practically, and I can't see what happens to people when they die.
Perhaps it's probably a dream of madness that can happen when someone is passing to the other side, but it seems so real. That beautiful boy was there. And then I stop, and I reach out, and I start to use my minor illusion again, and I start to draw a blue rune of a cloud, or a cloud symbol. It was real, Dora. It was my son.
I mean,
I miss him so much.
oh, okay.
Sorry. Let's go back.
No,
That's all I
wait.
need to know.
Um,
I want to talk to Aize and Dimitri. Perhaps they know what this symbol means. Let's go. Let's go.
and before he can walk away, I just grab him by the arm. Listen, Vorik.
I told him I was sorry, Kiora. And you know what he did? He ignored me.
Man.
What happened?
I'll tell you next episode.
All right. So I guess that
Oh wow.
we got
That was really good.
that's a perfect time to end it. We'll find out what has happened next episode with Volric. Fergus, looks like Fergus made it to the village with them, but now they're going to be leaving the village, I guess, and I don't know. Either they're going back to the island and exploring and heading to one of those, I don't know, whatevers, or they're heading down to the witch doctor. Probably the witch doctor, I would think, because they need to get that healing flower turned into a salve so they can go cure the zombie master. All right, so we're going to get on out of here. Please make sure to join us next week. Thank you, Nathan, so much for coming. It was wonderful having you as a guest.
Thank you.
We hope that your
Thanks, Nathan. You're awesome.
Yeah, you did
man, I want him back. Can we keep him?
you did a great job.
Yeah.
Can I put him in my pocket?
Yeah, you're
And pass some of that fungi, right?
Make sure
A little
you-
psychedelic crystal going.
your RPing was on point and everything. It was great. Very entertaining, especially as a DM. I just got to sit back and listen and laugh. All right.
It's like you were doing the shroom since the 70s or something.
Story Reckless on Twitch also
Yes.
on Mondays. And it's at what time again?
7:30 Pacific.
7:30.
Dave, if you have time, throw the link right in chat real
Yeah.
quick, so it's up there for posterity. Throw the link in chat.
Okay.
Hurry. We have. Oh, you got 20
I'll
seconds.
Figure that out.
Throw the link.
Thank you.
Well, anyways, thank you so much.
Oh.
And there